The 2016 BronyCAN Harmony MLPCCG tournament, hosted by Commentary as Magic. My name is Grandpaws, and I am very glad to be here to commentate on what should be an awesome event. We're just getting pairings set up now.
Around here, we refer to this as the opening ceremonies.
But I'm sure we're going to see some very interesting deck lists, as this is one of the first major tournaments that has been featured since Gen Con this year.
We refer to this.
But I'm sure we're going to see some very interesting deck lists, as this is one of the... Rainbow Shine, of course, is making her appearance, having done nothing wrong, and serving as a stand-in for what will eventually be our logo, I'm sure. There's been quite a bit of development in the metagame recently. We've seen a few new decks coming out of Gen Con, one of which is already gone, or will be gone rather, on August 31st, due to the announcement that was made yesterday of Tantabus being banned. The first ultra-rare that has been banned in the game, but definitely a good decision nonetheless to make sure that toxic combo decks are around for as short a time as possible. But we've seen some other things as well. Scootaloo had a very powerful showing at Gen Con in a variety of different colors. We saw mono blue Scootaloo, we saw blue-white Scootaloo using Rarity Truly Outrageous, we saw blue-pink Scootaloo. Princess Luna, Dream Guide, the orange Luna from Absolute Discord, had a showing with Waking Nightmare, kind of an orange-purple Chaos Control. Zipperwill, or Snake.deck, had a powerful top 16 showing too, using controlling elements in purple and yellow and white to move opposing characters and eventually deny them the ability to score points by confronting problems or challenging troublemakers. Of course, Thunderlane is still a very strong card as well. We might see several versions of One Punch Mare out here using Rainbow Dash Ambassador of Loyalty. But that's one of the fun things about these cons, is you're never really sure what's going to appear. Sometimes people will pull something out and just completely surprise you. We might see Cutie Mark combo using the CMC from Marks in Time. We might see Apple Vendor combo, any number of for any one of a number of various combo decks using AJ Apple Vendor as their main. Or our friends in Canada may have cooked up something entirely new. Hello to all our viewers in chat right now. How are you? As a reminder, this tournament is going to be using the updated timing rules. That means that we are going to be doing single game matches of 35 minutes apiece with a 5-minute hard time limit to complete additional turns after 35 minutes is called. And this is day 1 of the tournament. We will be back tomorrow with a live stream, but no commentary, of day 2 of the Harmony Championship at BronyCAN 2016. Hi, Tiger. Let's see, last time we were streaming a tournament before Gen Con, I believe, was the BronyCon stream. And I wonder if we'll see any of the interesting things here that happened there, including Princess Twilight Blue as kind of a mid-range focused deck. That was definitely interesting and run by Dark Jester. Looks like they are clearing space on the table now. Probably going to get some players down here relatively soon. Of course, we will have our interface that will be up for the duration of these games, so we will be able to update players' scores as the game progresses.
It really doesn't help that like half our local players are running the convention.
It's interesting looking at the metagame now compared to, a year or so ago, where certain decks were just so impossibly dominant that it was impossible to have a great deal of success if you were running anything outside of that. We still see some of these archetypes existing, orange farming, although most orange farming decks have chosen to swap Mod as the main for Applejack, Ambassador of Honesty. And DJ Pony still has a lot of value. That card draw every turn can be very strong, although the banning of Penny in the Penny Hooves engine definitely did hurt her a bit. Looks like we have 13 players for this tournament. Pairings have gone up, so they should be starting relatively shortly.
Where Renewal is right now, let's do some over to the other table. Then, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to have it next to it.
Yeah, there's one table, two, the screen table, and then.
But so right now it's just it. So that's seat 1, table 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just getting the table numbers set up here.
3.
And of course, we'll remind our players, if they would, to show their badge when they sit down so we can get their names updated.
Table 1 is back there. Sobel versus Melissa. Table 2, which is next to the computer. Brad versus Curse Court. Table 3, Celine versus Carrie. Table 4 is Curtis versus Ace. Who's Ace? Table 5 is Arcat versus Renewal. And table 6 is Max versus the other Max.
And looks like we'll have some of our own commentary as Magic members here playing as well.
Oh, you guys are live.
Auto win! Auto win!
How many players are out? We have 13.
Okay, a brief note here.
Oh, yeah. The stream stuff?
I feel
Okay.
like with 13
Tournament championship player. We have a screen
well,
going commentated by Grand Pause. That's over there. Playing on the screen is optional. Both players at a table must agree before they can go on stream. If you don't, that's fine. We'll find someone else. While you're on stream, please keep your language clean.
Do you two want to be on stream? Or are you against being on stream?
I'm not.
Not against it.
Okay, so you guys make it there? Cool.
Against the strong word.
All right, our first players are arriving here. Nice Celestia playmat. And of course the No Horseplay playmat from Interplay. You see a copy of the Smooths.
Still in his pack because I was still play a pink deck. She would go in.
Oh, by color. Okay. Let me start. minutes to get ready. Make sure you're all shuffle in case you like sorted. Make sure you like get everything properly.
Looks like that is a copy of Queen Chrysalis
Okay, me,
Changeling Pretender
counter is on the card.
as the main for our player on the left side.
Action tokens, not action tokens. Okay.
And on the right, Princess Twilight Sparkle, Ambassador of Friendship.
It's playing Jerky. It's playing Octavia. This is not Seattle.
No.
Everybody. Municipality.
Looks like that's going to be Jonathan on the left.
Are you like the only player in Calgary?
Seattle just says, what team are you even playing?
Seattle just has Seattle. Do you want one? Thank you.
Oh, that's Sokol and Melissa.
And it is not the bad. Like, not doing anything shady.
The bad not doing shady, like
Well,
stealing
I don't know
friends,
if you,
or
I don't know if
just.
you heard what happened recently at Gen Con.
Oh, well, you can't play that because you can't have Canada guild in the same deck at BronyCAN.
Right. No, I know about
Oh, yeah.
that. I'm just
Yeah, I
saying,
heard
like,
about
I'm running
Tampa Bay.
Chrysalis, but I do something different.
Then make me lose
Probably
all my
All right,
action
players are getting
tokens.
starting hand set. We'll have to hear what Sokol chooses for his starting color on Queen Chrysalis.
It's not a surprise because I'm calling yellow the card, but
Okay.
right, so can we should we roll?
Roll, yes. You have D20?
Oh, we could just use the same die. It's probably better.
Well, these are both D20 and they're both not counted. 11. Tie. 15. Oh. Alright.
Looks like Sokol is won the roll, so he's going to be going first.
Are we waiting for an announcement or just?
Are we starting?
Twilight, of course, starting with Ancient Research, still pretty much the
Okay.
usual MO with her.
Well, can I deck check myself?
Under Lock and Tree, interesting choice for Queen Chrysalis. Not a bad idea, especially if you're hoping to run fewer entry friends and just get right into the meatiness of it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see the timer.
Okay.
Looks like orange-white, or I'm sorry, not orange-white, yellow-white on Queen Chrysalis's side, so that's probably the bedtime deck.
Okay. So
And over on Melissa's side,
bang the two and pass.
okay, Sokol's going to bank 2, pass turn.
Need to.
Melissa, usual move, I'm sure. Spend 2, move Twilight up to Ancient Research. There it is. The Tantalus ban is not effective until August 31st. All right.
Twilight.
Flips Twilight,
Okay.
and that will also allow Sokol to flip as well.
That is not the ideal setup, obviously.
So pretty confident at this point that Chrysalis is going to be both white and yellow. Sokol up to 6 AT. No cards played yet from either player. Moving Chrissy up to under Lock and Tree. 2 action tokens. There is a house ban that is active for this tournament on the combination of both Tantalus and Gilda in the same deck. However, that is just a house rule, that is not an official banning. The official banning of Tantalus will come into play on the 31st. And it looks like there's a Fluttershy Stairmaster on Sokol's side, who has immediate exhaust this card to give each opposing character here -1 power until the end of the turn. Goal most likely being to reduce opposing friends to 0 power and then remove them from play through a number of effects. But he is going to confront for 1 point.
Be a beautiful blue smoothie.
Looks like Melissa is choosing to play the Smooths over to Ancient Research. That will also allow her to confront for a point. And pass right back to Sokol. Sokol using Meticulous from the copied Twilight ability, putting Goldie Delicious on the bottom of his deck.
What's the best part when you're trying to
Until he more friends down, he probably won't want to be exhausting for those action tokens. He did go first, so he can maintain a point lead here. And he is just going to go ahead and confront and pass. 4 action tokens saved up on Soko's side, 3 action tokens on Melissa's side. Very full hand right now. Looks like some blue in there. A few Frighten effects, maybe. I see the Princess Celestia with a Chaos Frighten a friend involved in the face-off. Looks like a T-Rex Reign of Terror as well. She's going to go ahead and pay all 3. Plays a Read the Manual. Gains 5 action tokens. Going to play a T-Rex Reign of Terror down to 4. Maybe looking for a multi-problem face-off this turn. Yep, Prince Rutherford. 4/4. Actually, we might need to... Oh, is that the other Smooths? Ah, yes, that is the Smooths who counts for color. So Prince Rutherford is down there, and looks like another blue friend as well. Flips another T-Rex Reign of Terror and a Nurse Redheart on the bottom. So that is going to be 2 points for Melissa, plus 1 for the bonus, wisely choosing to confront away from the problem with the Fluttershy, although frightening the Fluttershy also works. So that's going to bring Melissa up to 4 points, reset the problems. 2 Griffinstone on Melissa's side, choosing to move the Smooths. Oh, it's a Changeling Drone, who's currently up to 4 power with 1 Frightened Friend on the field. Back to Sokol, gaining 3 AT a turn, up to 7 AT now. Quite a bit he can do. Looking at the top card, not sure. Says, nope, don't want to see this either. Puts it on the bottom and draws. Now, it would have been nice if he had a way to somehow get rid of the Smooths that was in play last turn, potentially locking Melissa out of blue. At this point, though, with Changeling Pretender or Changeling Drone and Rutherford on the field, he's going to be hard-pressed to find a way to do that. Especially now that they are at home. Looks like he is going to go ahead and play a Bedtime.
Which is, if a friend would be put into a player's hand from play Basher instead. And then I'm going to play Big Mix-Up on Smooths and Changeling Drone.
Oh, now see, that's a nice combo. If a friend would be put into a player's hand from play, that friend is banished instead, and then chooses to play Big Mix-Up following that. Big Mix-Up says, choose 2 opposing friends. The owner of those friends, or controller of those friends, may put them into their owner's hand. If they don't, for each friend that remains in play, from the chosen two, you score a point. And he has chosen the Smooth and I believe the Changeling Drone. So Melissa now has to decide. Does she want to keep the Changeling Drone or the Smooth around, or is she okay with giving Sokol some point advantage? And it looks like she's going to opt for the point option.
You didn't have any yellow to play any of that. Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, it's cool color.
And with those going into her hand, those would have, of course, been banished instead.
I'm going to library questions.
Anyway, I will stack 3. Play,
That's it. I'll bank. Oh, that's what I gave you. I forgot the other effect because I already have it printed one.
on a critter.
Score tied 4-4 here.
So I get to move
Plays an Ever Vigilant, moving Changeling Drone and Prince Rutherford at immediate speed. Very powerful card we saw in Marks in Time. Spending the remaining AT, playing another Changeling Drone, moving over to confront. Looks like that is Pet Primping. Card that says at the start of your turn you may put a critter from your discard pile into your hand. Sokol now choosing to use Meticulous to put a card on top, exhausting Chrysalis to gain an extra action token. Bedtime still in play. This is what he wanted to see. Another copy of Big Mix-Up would be a great way to get rid of those Changeling Drones. Definitely doesn't want to use too many of those too early on, although that 4 power is quite nice. He might want to simply choose to unfrighten his Fluttershy and reduce the power that Melissa has at his problem by 4. I'm going to choose to play an Angel. I believe that's the High Magic Angel. Yep, that's Angel, large and in charge. Vexing. When this card leaves play, you may pay 2 to put an opposing friend into its owner's hand. It's an efficient friend that actually just becomes, with Bedtime, when this card leaves play, you may pay 2 to banish an opposing friend.
Or no, sorry, Rutherford.
Octavia, Harsh Judge, now entering play. And a Nurse Redheart as well. Octavia has named Rutherford. It looks like that will give Sokol the 6 points he needs to be able to confront at that problem. or 6 power, rather. Just going to go ahead and bank that 3 AT. Still confront over at Pet Primping. Little surprised that Sokol didn't use 2 of his action tokens to unfrighten Fluttershy, but who knows?
And it gets the color until the end of the turn. You can dismiss it.
Oh, I think he used it for all his other effects. He wanted to try to get his point score up. Now they are gaining 4 action tokens a turn. However, Sokol again puts a card from his hand on top with Meticulous and exhausts Chrysalis to gain an extra AT, putting him at 5. Matching AT advantage can be a very powerful play strategy, and Twilight Ambassador of Friendship provides a very reliable source of AT, as do many of the friends that typically accompany her, like Princess Twilight cover to cover. He is going to go ahead and spend that 2 now. Unfrighten Fluttershy Stairmaster, reduce the power that Melissa has over at Pet Primping by 4. He is going to go ahead and play an Opalescence as well. When Opalescence enters play, gets to banish an opposing friend with 2 or less power until Opalescence leaves play. Now, the part that's especially interesting about this is Opalescence is actually a great counter to the normal Frighten strategy that you'd want to see, because while Opal will have a friend banished, if she were to become frightened, even though she becomes a new card, she has not left play, and as a result, that friend would not be returned. It would in fact be permanently banished. Looks like Sokol did go ahead and confront over it to Griffinstone and pass turn back to Melissa. Melissa now with 7 AT saved up. Looking at her options, goes down to 4, plays Princess Celestia. Chooses to frighten Angel, the Vexing Angel. That is going to boost Changeling Drone's power. Down to 3 AT, have to see what she can do with that. Harshjet, or Prince Rutherford, still not a possible card to play as long as Octavia Harshjudge remains on the field. And that is Princess Celestia, fair but firm. That's going to be the Philly Gilda, I believe, from Marks in Time. That's going to be Gilda out of the nest. When this or another friend is frightened, you may put a 1-power blue Pegasus friend token with Swift into play. So we are definitely seeing a frighten strategy from Melissa, if that wasn't already obvious. Now, it was interesting to see that she chose to play those cards to those particular locations, because in doing so, she actually did not confront either problem, leaving it tied at 6-6. That can be very dangerous against a deck that uses a lot of power reduction effects. So now Changeling Drone's power boost is gone. Spending 2 AT, moving Fluttershy up. Still needs a bit more power there. At this point, a Conductor's Baton would certainly do it. Another Opalescence banishing the second Changeling Drone. Really doesn't want Melissa to get that efficient power. And again, as we talked about, unless Melissa has some form of effect that would cause Opalescence to change zones, like Napcakes perhaps, to put Opalescence back on top of the deck, those Changeling Drones will not come back just from Opalescence being frightened. Sokol goes to 7. Melissa gains her 4 AT. Meticulous. Uses Meticulous, but chooses not to exhaust Twilight for another AT. Or maybe just forgets. And the card we haven't really talked about a whole lot is Nurse Redheart Nurse's Orders, who is currently over at 2 Griffinstone, and has the ability to put an opposing friend with 0 power into its owner's hand, or in this case with Bedtime Banish it. Melissa moving some cards around, moving over to try to confront, but not enough power there with Fluttershy Stairmaster being able to be activated at immediate speed, so she will remain at 6 points for this turn.
You can't exhaust her to get the action token once it's recommended.
And now that Fluttershy Stairmaster is not at home, Sokol is not able to exhaust Queen Chrysalis for an extra action token because he has no friends at home. Looking at his options, 4 AT to spend. Doing some quick math here.
I will play Find the Music in You to reduce the amount I need to confront.
So it looks like he's going to go ahead and play Find the Music in You,
Then
which is the yellow-white song.
So I will
Choosing to reduce the confront requirements of a problem by 2 until the end of the turn, I believe.
Yeah, I think I'm still up to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so my deck was extremely poorly. Like very because I do not have it now with it, so I need to keep writing math in the others.
I'm going to discard Angel or retire, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'll pay 2 to get rid of Gildo.
We might need to look at the math on that. I don't believe he had enough yellow to actually be able to confront at pet primping on his turn. So I'm not sure if it's possible to rewind the game at this point, as things have gone through rather quickly. But if we could have one of our judges perhaps go over and check to see if he had the yellow required, because reducing the confront requirement of the problem by wild is fine, but Pem Primping actually requires 3 yellow and 3 white for Sokol to confront.
Fine. Your turn.
Okay. The back on top. Exhausting game. 4, putting me at 5. Draw.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12.
So I believe he just had 2 Opalescence and 1 Fluttershy.
Two frighten.
They are going ahead and moving past it, though.
One sec.
Octavia.
That confront that just happened. There was a question about if you actually had enough yellow to confront. I think.
She's yellow.
Did you just reply? Oh, she's yellow.
Right,
Yellow,
but
white.
Okay, I think you missed that part.
no,
So you frighten this one and that one. Two down to 1 for change the drone.
looks like Chrysalis may have been at that problem. Changeling Drone, 3rd one now.
Scarface.
There are a couple frightened friends.
Friend.
He's going to go ahead and confront Halt Evildoers, which will put Melissa up to 7 points.
Oh, also because of pet pumping, I can take a critter out of my discard at the start of the turn. So let's see, you're up to 6 there.
If a friend will be put into a player's hand, you must put into a discard pile, or you must banish it instead. That's your
Yeah.
into
I'm
your
gonna
hand.
call. I think this has come up before. I think it has to be for play. Jeff.
Because it says putting it in.
Judge.
So we are checking a ruling on bedtime.
Bedtime kill pet pumping.
Yeah, if the friend would be put into an owner's hand from play, it will not affect cards that are returned to an owner's hand from the discard pile.
See, from play, this is from discard.
Put into a player's hand. Okay.
Yeah. So players are now aware of how that works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking at maybe moving Queen Chrysalis. He's got a few AT to mess around with. Could potentially move Queen Chrysalis up, move an Opalescence up, and play the critter he just returned to his hand. Although playing another Angel will work equally well. And Queen Chrysalis now both white and yellow. He will choose to have her contribute her white power towards confronting, which is going to put him up to 11, and put players up to 5 action tokens a turn. Melissa at 5 AT, or perhaps with 1 banked previously. Yeah, looks like she had 1 bank. She is at 7 now. Changing Drone's 6 power, able to confront Halt Evildoers all on its own. And Sokol now with no action tokens remaining, and Fluttershy Stairmaster frightened. So not a way to stop Melissa from getting extra points this turn if she chooses. But she'd need to find a way to get some additional power up there.
3 or 4 to play tank.
So she's going to go ahead and play tank.
Score base.
That is going to be tank Shell Shock, who has Vexing, and when this card leaves play, you may frighten a friend.
You can do it when she's at a problem. The friends just have to be at home, but she doesn't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And she will confront for 1 point. Sokol looking is going to choose to exhaust his Queen Chrysalis up there with a problem. Interesting choice. Probably wants to use the AT for something else this turn. So he's going to need 3 power in white there to be able to confront. There's quite a few cards that could do it. Ah, the Smooth Chum has Calming, and now has a Detective Duds on it, giving it even more power. And it looks like Sokol has simply changed which problem he's confronting this game over to Halt Evildoers. I believe it's Eccentric Calming on this moose. Yes, Eccentric 2.
Sorry, I don't usually have favorite Twilight.
Melissa looking here.
This is 600.
That Detective Duds is allowing the Smooth to confront all on his own. She knows that if she plays any friends to that problem, they're going to be subject to the Calming 2, so perhaps moving a character is simply the best option if she wants to try for that face-off. And she is going to try that, moving up with Princess Celestia, fair but firm. Brings her down to 5 AT, moves up with Prince Rutherford. Really wants to make sure she can win this face-off. She'll confront, they'll go to a face-off. Flips a Wildfire, flips a Smooth Chum.
Oh, and I gain an AC because you started a face off. It's Detective Duds.
Okay.
Sokol gains his AT from the Prepared on the Smooth. They check for power. Melissa wins the face-off and scores an additional point, bringing her up to 10 total. That looks like
And that'll go into play your phone.
one looks like Through the Cave. When this card enters play, each player frightens one of their friends. Now, what's interesting here is with Tank's Vexing ability, even though Melissa would normally have to retire him, he would end up banished. But since she's probably not running any recursion anyway, the ability to get rid of Tank if Sokol doesn't move characters away to prevent him from confronting pet primping means she would actually be able to frighten the Smooth Chum, which would remove Detective Duds from it. Sokol did choose wisely to actually frighten an Opalescence there.
Is irrelevant to what's in play right now.
Okay, don't disturb us.
He's worried about time right now.
I mean, I think we're both playing each other.
Player still looking. Melissa with still 5 action tokens left. I believe. There's a Fluttershy Stairmaster, an Opalescence that, if unfrightened, wouldn't really do anything. Stairmaster wouldn't be a bad choice. But the Smooze is almost certainly going to end up frightened. Plays Angel. Moves the Smooze up. Now, if he's smart here, he'll actually choose to confront problems in the order so that he can get the benefit out of Smooze first and then trigger, or then attempt to trigger a face-off and force the tank's retirement. Or rather, banishment in this case. Or no, it will be retirement. I apologize. Won't be put into hand.
Use vexing and I frighten.
Well, I'm confined here first. So just to make
Okay.
sure we have the order correct.
Alright.
Yep, so will properly choose the order of confrontation of his problems. Now he'll move to try to confront. Now the tank will be retired, and now, most likely, the Smooze. Hmm.
Alright.
That's an interesting choice to not frighten the Smooze. Lisa gains her AT, looks at her cards, looks at all the Changeling drones' power. Those are each at 10 power now. She would somehow need a way to be able to close out the game. I believe that's a Night Glider overpowering in her hand. That may be enough to do it, but she needs to find a way to get rid of that Angel with Vexing. Ever-Vigilance, a good start. Move up Changeling Drone, move up Changeling Drone. Octavia Harsh Judge, now frightened, or no longer in play, so Prince Rutherford is an option, who could frighten the Angel. Twilight moving up. Maybe just hoping to force the retirement of Angel.
Okay, so everyone stop. Everyone still playing. Stop a second. Whoever went first, identify that.
And it looks like time has been called in the round here.
So
Is it my... So if I went second, then...
if you went second and it's currently your turn, it will end at the end of your turn.
So Melissa knows she has exactly one turn to try to come out of this.
But I think he'll be okay.
She's looking at what she can possibly do.
I will take Angel, and I will spend to get rid of that one.
Yep, and that will end up banishing the Changeling Drone. She does have a few more AT left over if she has another Ever-Vigilant. That could potentially allow her to confront still.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably should have mentioned that it was going to be that end of turn. I mean, it is the correct end of turn, but the official one. Yeah.
Yep, and that is going to be game in Sokol's favor. 13 to 11, close one all the way to the end. Players usually within 1 or 2 points of each other, but Sokol just getting that bedtime down very early definitely helped him use some of his bounce effects to his advantage over the course of the game.
So if I had confronted this one.
Well, there wouldn't have been a face
For
off.
every token you had to play.
No, you're right.
The player's just discussing if there's anything else Melissa possibly could have done. She would have really needed another Frighten effect on that Angel.
And then I remember him saying his number was actually.
Did need to move Twilight up,
Matter, does it?
We would have owned it. That would have been. Yeah. There's a solution.
but well played by both players. Yes, Tiger Big Cheese is judging this event, and Aracat is participating in it, I believe.
I'm like, okay, there's 25% chance she ripped the photo finish out of my hand. And you know, like, now they're both in my how do I get it back?
So hopefully these players are appreciating having the current reigning continental champion as their head judge.
Alright, gonna go to the bottom bracket and everybody there.
Though I'm sure he wouldn't be one to boast about that. So I'll do it for him.
Make my tiebreaker amazing. Try harder. But you're.
All right. And as the games wrap up here and we move into round 2, we're just waiting on pairings. Now that Chrysalis Bedtime Control deck, I've seen it around at a number of different conventions. Definitely had a showing at BabsCon earlier this year. I believe there was even a showing at BronyCAN. But this was the first time I'd seen it on stream, and it is a lot of fun to see the interaction between many of those bounce effects and bedtime serving as some very, very efficient removal in one color that normally is pretty good at doing that, and another color that usually has some trouble.
Japanese.
I'm actually next. You guys. This is like so much more potential. I am 1/32. Because my cow. Hey, so we got
You're your 1/32 Native American, you get like free money.
At table 1 down there, we've got Brad versus Max.
Looks like they are getting pairings up for the next round. Things are running pretty smoothly here. Should see about 4, maybe 5 rounds of play tonight.
You know what? At least it wasn't round 1.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking like, oh,
Yeah. So Karen, you say where you are. And yeah, right there. Curtis versus Melissa, table 4.
On table 4, wherever that is.
So I guess this is table 4.
Hey, that's not moving shit since 2 to 3.
oh right.
And Sokol grabbing his cards, getting those out of the way in preparation for the next players approaching. Those Frightened decks, ever since Absolute Discord came out and a few of those cards were printed, have really, really attracted quite a few players. Or rather, been attractive to a number of players. You see variants of that running pretty much anywhere that the game is played. They're relatively cheap to build,
At least I can go.
and they can be efficient. Oh, some very nice custom play mats. Rainbow Dash used to use that as a wallpaper in a very nice Fausticorn, or not a Fausticorn, I'm sorry, that looks like the mascot for BronyCAN.
Oh, like that?
Are our playmats entirely on the screen?
Are they between the things?
Yes.
And set roughly centered on them?
Okay, looks like it's going to be Brad on the left versus Max on the right.
Wow, it's a lot of warm back.
Oh, these are.
Why is your warmer back?
No word on mains yet, but good luck to you both.
I'm sure
This
they're
is
gonna
Trophy
watch,
Hunter.
on
That's Brad's name. Oh, it is going to be Octavia for Max on the right.
I'll do my best not to bump my turn score.
Oh, it's an Octavia versus Octavia match.
Actually, yeah, 7. I probably I'm sure they would tell you otherwise. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Brad, that's a great shiny armor shirt. Reroll if you want. 12.
You know, I kind of want to chop, but I feel like everyone on stream would not know what a chop is.
If they've been to Everfree, they know what a chop is.
Everfree or
You got Luna.
chop.
Can't go wrong.
Alright.
I did not walk the other way. And I'm not right away.
All right, players shuffling up. Looks like Brad is going to be starting with a second chance,
I have things I need.
and Max is.
Pretty cool.
Max, you win this. Are you gonna?
Oh god. Let's deal with that when we get there.
I'll do my best.
That's not good enough.
Now, the interesting thing here is with Octavia versus Octavia, each of them are going to have the ability to trigger off of the opponent's friends entering play. So
You know the good strategies.
they will have to be very careful about when and where they play their friends. And we might end up seeing several
20. Oh,
several choices to play friends to home and then move them up, even if it's more expensive, just to avoid boosting power. Now it looks like
I'm keeping.
Brad is going to be on white-yellow, but it looks like white-yellow aggro saw some forest owls in there.
2 AT, pass turn.
Max is first up.
Draw.
Two.
Pass turn.
2 AT, draw a card. Troublemaker phase, main phase.
Max going through the phases of his turn.
Pay 2, move Octavia. She's +1 from Walk the Tree. Pay 1, Aloe. Goes to Octavia.
And there's Aloe boosting Octavia up. Definitely enough power to confront Underlock and Tree.
No, I know.
Oh yeah, I gave him. Now he only needs 5 power from 7. You're right. I shouldn't have given him the advantage.
End of turn. Your turn.
All right. Brad now up to 5 AT thanks to his first turn of 3 with a second chance. Should make it a little bit easier for him to get Octavia flipped.
Pay 2. Move Octavia.
Fashion upgrade, you must pay 1 if able.
Okay, playing a fashion upgrade, making the cost a bit more. Not quite as efficient as
I don't think I have.
possibility.
I have like 1
I think I have a bunch.
after this.
I might
Yeah,
have.
no, we're gonna stop the game right now. Sell your cards.
How many actions do you have?
1.
Pay 1. Kiwi.
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. 1 Winona, 1 Kiwi.
Okay.
Huh?
Two.
All right.
He couldn't play Kiwi.
I had to play
He
Winona
didn't
first.
have
But you had 2 AT?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to play bonus 1 from.
Yes, okay.
He could do that.
Yep, and that will give him
Could not actually.
I had to play Winona first. That's
4 power. Not quite enough to be able to confront, but does give him his yellow entry.
Turn.
Yes.
Passes back to Max.
Draw a card. Troublemaker phase. Main phase.
Max so far still just on mono white as far as we've seen. There's some dressed up in hands.
2 flags.
Octavia, Harsh Judge, Daisy, Lily, Roselock.
Greatest strength in the world.
Pay
2. Octavia Harsh Judge.
Yep.
Name Kratos.
Yep.
Okay, Octavia Harsh Judge is naming Kratos.
1 point. At 2.
Gain 3 actions. Draw a card.
So probably a critter retire for additional point acceleration deck.
Pay 1. Forest Owl.
Forest Owl going down, that'll definitely boost the power of all his characters and allow him to confront.
Pass turn. Make 2 actions.
3 AT. Draw a card. Troublemaker.
Game moving quickly here, but both Octavias now boosted.
Main base.
Max moving to main phase.
Fuck you. Sorry. Sorry.
I love this place. I love our group.
Reminding players to watch their language here.
No, so wait.
Let me
Two,
no good
nine,
bats. No right. Tattooed.
Not even a 1.
Max still looking, thinking what is he going to do, playing dressed up on Forest Owl. Not sure I would have actually gone to do that, but since he does have the Kratos down, that's not a bad choice.
He gets +2 power.
Alright, yeah. That's getting
Mirror match. 1 flower trio. Gives 2 to Cadence.
Oh my god.
And that power being matched evenly on both sides like I was talking about earlier.
1, 2, 4,
Confronts for 2 points.
8, 9, 13, 14 power.
3, 4, 5, 6, 10.
16.
Ooh, flipping a very
Flipped an RTO.
truly outrageous on Brad's side. Never something you want to see.
Home.
So Max will score an extra point, win that face-off. Player still gaining 3 AT per turn.
Social obligations.
Start. Home looks good. I end my turn.
3 actions.
Brad at least looking
Still 3, right?
Yes.
for an easy confront.
Trouble main phase. Main phase.
Looks like Brad is holding on to standstill. But Max looks like he has another fashion upgrade in hand. So maybe hoping to tax Brad a little bit further. Now that flower trio will give Max a great deal of power efficiency at a problem unless Brad is able to put characters at each problem. Which he would be able to do with 5 AT, but he might be trying to go for the confront just to try to get some points up. He needs a way to deal with that Octavia Harsh Judge to get a Kratos down if he has one in his hand, so he can start getting that point acceleration, especially now that he knows he's using one less card with Rarity Truly Outrageous now on the bottom of his deck.
Pay 1. Potentially.
Brad plays House Mouse
Pay 1. Aloe.
and an Aloe.
+4 to House Mouse.
Now looking at
Aloe.
another Aloe. Goodness.
House Mouse.
Boosting huge power on that House Mouse. But now just at 2 AT.
I have a pilot because we never play.
Pay 2. Move Octavia.
Spins those two, move Octavia up.
Score phase. Confront for 1.
Confronts for 1 point. Now, I may have held on to that particular play for a turn or so, but he does shut off Daisy Lily and Roseluck's ability, like I mentioned. So maybe that was really what he was hoping to do this turn. Max, 3 AT to work with.
There's 2 points.
2 points. Correct.
Max confirming that Brad did spend all his AT to do that last turn.
When I win a face off, I can exhaust. When I win a face off involving Octavia, I can exhaust her for a point.
Max looking here and chooses just to bank the 3 past turn. Sends it back to Brad, 3 AT. Forced Owl would be a nice play over to Winter Wrap Up if he's got something else to follow it up with. Yellow does have a good amount of resource dismissal though, so he may just be able to move the Forest Owl that's already up there, if he really needed to. I wouldn't be surprised to see either Food Fight, or I'm sorry, not Food Fight, Fast Food or Conductor's Baton on Brad's side, since he's running so many critters and cheap friends.
+2 to score face. Make 2 actions.
Troublemaker face.
Yep.
Apologies to chat there. Looks like he's going to opt to play a Winona. And see, that's a rather clever move, because Winona's not going to provide enough power to confront social obligations on her own, but as soon as Max plays a character over the social obligations, the trigger on Octavia on Brad's side will allow him to suddenly be confronting, which could cause a face-off that Max doesn't want to happen.
2 to move Octavia.
Yep. Stand still.
Way to be. Bank faster.
2 to 5. I draw.
So when it says, you put a card friend less than block as your discard pile,
They won.
does it mean play?
Already growing up. +2 Winona.
Looks like we're going to play a few cards. There's a Rarity growing up, who will give the boost up to Winona.
Card. Troublemaker. Main face. Your 4 AT range.
4 AT bank.
Max looking 7 AT now. A lot he'd be capable of doing. Got a decent amount of power on board.
Bank
A
faster.
few events and resources in hand, but still saving up.
I draw.
Really wants to try to just go for that face-off if he can find a way to deal with all of Brad's friends in play. And as he does this, Brad gains more and more AT that he can use to move closer to catching up.
Let's try. 3. Blossom.
I'll drop after this.
Rarity +2. Score phase, confront for 1.
Yep, goes ahead and plays Rarity to boost one of his power, confronts again.
In return, make 6 actions.
Brad's still holding on to 6 AT. Max now up to 10.
Yes, exactly what's coming.
My husband and I have tons of cards and
Looks like that choice to play multiple friends over to Winter Startup is definitely working in Brad's favor, reducing Max's availability of large power friends in play that he could play around Brad's Octavia main with. Brad now holding 2 copies of Rarity Truly Outrageous, maybe just going for a blowout turn if he can. Be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If he were able to win the face-off. Draws, gets an aloe. That's a pretty good find for him. Now, if he chose here, he could spend 9 of his 10 AT, play a Rarity Truly Outrageous to the problem, which would give 1 bonus, or 2 bonus power over on Brad's side. Play an aloe, which would give another 2 bonus power over on Brad's side. That would put Brad up to 7 power total, not enough to be confronting for the face-off. Play the 3rd Rarity Truly Outrageous to Winter Startup. Puts Brad up to 9. And actually, that would only be 7 AT. That would allow Max to score 5 points this turn, which would be him doubling his score at this point in time. With 3 AT remaining, then gaining 4 on the next turn, 2 spent to move both rarities up, and then moving Octavia up on the next turn. So Brad could, in theory, Max could, in theory, unless Brad has an answer, have this game in as few as 2 additional turns, if he sees what he's doing. There's a rarity. There's another rarity. Plays a cadence. But he had spent that AT to draw, so that did set him back a bit.
Run for 1. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And Max is going to do that and go up to 10.
End of turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in hand.
I don't know. I think I know how I have to resolve this, but I don't know if I can do it.
Checks home limit. Gets rid of a few of them. Passes back to Brad, who's now up to 4 AT from this turn, giving him 10 AT total.
Yeah, but like that's hilarious.
I mean, I killed Red Card because
And Brad knows he needs to find answers quickly. Dressed up would work. Banishment would work. He's got AT. He can go digging for a bit if he needs to.
was a hard A or a C.
Alternatively, he could simply replace the problems, but I don't think that's going to do enough. Brad plays an Industrial Revolution. We'll let him put Critter Friends into play at each problem.
Pay 2, number 5.
Brad does have an Opalescence. He's going to choose to banish one of the Octavias. Or, I'm sorry, not one of the Rarity Truly Outrageous. Boost Pee-wee's power.
Move to score phase.
Okay.
Confront.
For
1. When I confront, put a critter token into play at each problem. 2. 2. 2. From Octavia's bonus. Can move to this one, confront for 1.
Confronts. Puts Critter Friend tokens into play at each problem. Confronts. Triggers the face-off.
Score an additional 2 points.
Wins dramatically with power.
Exhaust Octavia for an additional point.
Exhaust Octavia scores an additional point. Should bring him up to 9, I believe.
All problems reset. Home.
Makes the game just a little bit closer. Max still in a pretty positive position, still having access to a Rarity Truly Outrageous. The fact that Brad has not either drawn into or been able to play any Kratos that he finds, which could otherwise greatly accelerate him, also has not helped.
He's got a murder ponies.
Mostly critters that.
Oh, new problems reset.
All of them.
Yep.
So there's that guy in the middle.
He goes away.
Yeah, that's basically. Oh, that's mono, right?
It's a stupid double negative wording.
And of course, with all those friends coming home, Brad is going to have to retire quite a few of them.
That's a double negative. That's the problem.
Of course, those critters can easily go.
Are you done?
I am done.
5 AT?
5 AT banked.
Brad's still sitting on 5 AT.
Oh, and your RTO is not discarded, it is banished.
Yeah. I don't,
Until Opalescence.
I don't have any recurve, so it's a safe thing.
Usually people do is they just put them underneath you.
Okay, 4. Draw. Troublemaker phase. Starlight Glimmer.
Played a Troublemaker, moves Octavia up, or moves Rarity Truly Outrageous up. I believe that's a blending in.
Main phase.
4 AT. Daisy Lily Roseluck will help at one problem, but that'll take up 2 AT.
I'm going to pay 1 to get a Troublemaker to this problem. Then I'm going to pay 1 for Aloe. 2 plus 2.
There's that Aloe. Gonna give Rarity an extra 4 power, 2 from her own effect, 2 from Octavia's effect. Of course, Brad with no characters there. Can't get any benefit from that. We'll go ahead and confront, naming white, sending Rarity back home, going up to 13.
Putting me at 10. Draw a card. Needs 6 points to win.
What turn? What phase?
Troublemaker phase. Main phase.
Pay 1 photo op.
Alright, photo op. Says Brad cannot move friends this turn, or cannot move characters this turn.
Once draw.
Make him play out of his hand.
Now, if Brad is able to draw into a photo op of his own,
Confront. Get Starlight.
then he might stop Max
Not playing blue, so I can't epic win.
from being able to win next turn, just because he couldn't move the Rarity Truly Outrageous up unless Max can trigger DFO.
Entire card.
The card just says you win.
Which he might be able to.
AAP, small blue requirement, you automatically win the game. That would be the new metagame.
What crayons can you bring to your deck?
Are gonna be heavy upgrades.
Once draw.
result of this round, and I'll drop for round 3.
How many rounds were you guys doing? 5. 5? Hey, it could be not bad.
And 3. RTO.
Phase 3, ready truly outrageous. Down to 4 AT. Spends 1, draws. Now, playing the rarity there is almost certainly just to shut off Daisy, Lily, and Roselock.
Shine.
2/1 power tokens go away. You can give her
There's Rise and Shine.
+4.
Gives additional power.
Yeah.
Now, we'll have to make sure he's aware he will still be unable to move his characters at any point this turn. That means he cannot move rarity back home.
Yes.
Front for 1.
And we need to pause that there.
Okay. 5 AT.
Yep.
And so we'll get the judge to come over and correct that issue, because Brad will just be at 10 points, not 12.
Starlight. Her text happens, and then she blows up Starlight.
Cane phase. Go to walk.
3. She goes off. 1.
Not that that's gonna really.
And Brad did draw into the photo op on his own.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did.
Do you have any AT left?
No AT.
So we'll see if we can get the judge to go over and correct that
K3.
discrepancy with scores.
Chrysalis. Copies or any truly outrageous.
Yep.
Use Allo +2. Store face.
Yep. We'll confront. That's not going to be game, though. They cannot move those back home, and we need to be sure the players are aware of this, if we can pause them, if at all possible. If the judge can go over, but I think with that picked up. Well, they've ended the game at that point.
Chris, you can run ahead. I got a P report and P, and then I'll be down as soon as I can. Oh, yeah. I'll go straight to the panel room. Yeah.
Who won?
I did. So I'll win round 2, and I'll drop for round 3.
It was a bit unfortunate that that
If you want to just
was not corrected, but
no-show for the next
since
round,
each player ended up making
Yeah,
a
because
mistake,
then the pairing
I guess the end result was about the same.
I have to go run a panel.
You're 2-0 and you have to leave.
Yeah.
I had to try and just freaking overwhelm. Missing.
You can go. You can go. I'll meet you at the panel room.
No, but he needs the key for the
I
room.
gave it to him.
Oh, okay. Then I'm clearly not paying attention.
Good game, Brad. I hope this is recording, so we
I
can
assume it is.
watch myself win over and over again.
It turned out not mattering, but you can't move rarity home when photo op is in play.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, you guys both did it though, so it didn't really matter.
Okay.
Is that the stream commentator yelling at us?
Basically. Not yelling,
Oops.
more just trying to correct things.
But we both did it, so
Yeah, we both did it, so we're both
guilty.
useless.
I think I can.
All right, and that is match number 2. Seen a lot of white-yellow so far, surprising. Not really a color that had a tremendous amount of showing at some other tournaments so far, but that's what happens. Every area has its own meta.
Yes, you can.
Sugar +2. Give Allo +2 that way.
I've had to do that before. I needed white entry, and all I had was yellow. I could not find an allo.
And we'll take a quick break here as we wait for round 3 to start.
I found it to be easier with like 3.
yeah, I know it. I can go back to this. I know how to beat that in. I did not draw the shit need. And that when you put those build up. Preferably using a bolt, but
I've been getting like the luckiest stuff.
and then it was a lot different if you were playing your own ones. So with the way I would play it, even the way I was drawing the other cards,
So, like,
I
I
do it as I turn being smaller range creator. And I drew 2 declares and put 1 on.
Yeah, that is a relatively commonly missed interaction. Photo op does last for the entire turn, and Rarity, even though she is moving from a problem to home, is not being sent home. She is being moved home by its owner. And as a result, a photo op will last for the entire duration of the turn. That means main phase, score phase, and end phase. Well, at least until the end turn effects go away.
And I have Rebird does double multiple effects for me as well, like easier at this one cost to play unfriended and movement up. Which I've actually done that in at the same time. For free, I mean I have wonderful shitty about.
Well, I think if I only had 4AC, required both of those, I would.
That still wins me more than anything. So I
You have to accept that sometimes it has bad luck. I guess so. Your deck can load something that probably loses to other decks.
I know, yeah. I tell you. I am not disappointed with this build-up.
You should have.
I am not disappointed with this build-up.
did get a pretty good combination of cards as well.
I think that first night. Black Widow.
Were you there for that?
Oh yeah, I remember you were here. I was wondering whether
I did get a pretty good combination of cards as well.
I think that first night. Black.
Large. I tried to warn you.
I still wouldn't entertain, so I don't care.
You won, right?
No. I still
Should have been my strategy the whole time.
that's why they win. There's only gonna be
Looks like, unlike last round where the featured match went to time, this time the featured match was actually the first table done. So there should just be a few more minutes while we wait for the other matches to finish up and the results to come in for round 3 to be paired.
I'm like,
Original Pepsi, you guys. Jeez, look at the time.
Whatever.
oh, my leg is falling.
Whatever.
Oh, my leg is falling.
Oh no! No worries, crap.
I paid
Hey.
1 3.
Whatever.
Okay, so these tables here. Can you guys have for a second? Okay, cool. So, whoever went first. Oh, sorry, whoever went.
Oh no!
Continue. Make sure that everyone likes. Okay, so these tables here. Can you guys have for a second? Okay, cool. So, whoever went first. Oh, sorry, whoever went. Continue. Make sure that everyone likes.
Looks like we're moving forward here. Time having been called.
Okay, everyone have it?
Yeah, so I'd rather BronyCAN or like cases. I bought cases of red. They're in the mini. Yeah, I'll bring that.
Great match to do with some
That is, yeah, definitely.
maybe like next to the white one. First time I got down to Seattle, I was in some high school, and then my brother's like, hey.
Yep, just waiting on one more game to finish up.
when Xbox was doing promotion. So the last time was Dead Rising 3 or Black Ops 3. One of those.
We've been talking about Mountain Dew. How is no? How is no one? Because Dorito Child is funny. I don't either. But Dorito Child is funny.
Okay, but I don't find it funny, therefore I don't bring it up.
What?
Okay, so table one, BronyCAN versus Curtis.
Pairings, round 3 going up. Should get our next set of players here very soon.
I guess the only max now, because got max 3. Table 4. Table 5, Ace versus Brad.
Brief technical difficulties with the stream. But we'll get that back up very shortly.
Okay, when she comes here, I'll know.
There we go.
That's okay. That's okay. You're learning. You're winning. Well, winning isn't always part of learning, but
Versus BronyCAN.
you're good. You're doing fine. You're doing.
Looks like we've got
Oh, is it funny because we're both fun?
a DJ deck.
I never understood.
Doop 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 doop. Oh, you're Carrie? Yes. Okay, I'll move her.
And his opponent moving over as well. Playing Princess Twilight Sparkle.
Another ambassador. Let me guess your problem. Yes, it is. What else could it possibly be? Actually, that's not true. I know someone who runs her without that. And makes it work. She may have.
All the blue rices.
I roll? Yep.
Yeah, I'll come over there.
7. Oh, 20. Sometime today I will win that. That's okay. I've lost every die roll except for that one for 3 days. And worryingly, they all have the number 4. Which not bode well for me in my culture.
Where'd you get those sleeves from?
I bought them at an anime convention.
Oh, okay.
They were over sleeves.
What color are you playing?
So I can put a sleeve inside a sleeve. Yep. $2 for you like sleeves. So you can protect your cards while you protect your cards. In fact, they're actually
All
called
right. Princess Twilight Sparkle versus DJ.
So you have your cool, card sleeves, and you put those over it. All right.
Everyone's ready to start.
No.
Not yet.
Should we start if we're ready?
Wait a sec.
Looks like we'll probably see some DJ Blue aggro saw a Lyra and Bon Bon. in there, so probably some kind of force movement. Might be something similar to Vinyl Explosion. As for what secondary color, if any, our Twilight player is playing, you will have to see.
Yes. It's supposed to anyway. Turn player gets to choose the mulligan first.
Alright. Wait, can we actually go?
We've got our players here. Curtis on the right, Carrie on the left.
Start the timer. Go ahead.
Players just waiting for the judge's signal, and that is time. Carrie moving first. Yep, definitely a kind of Vinyl Explosion list from Curtis here. Going to be very aggressive. Night Glider Overpowerings, Lyra Bonbons, probably some Prince Rutherfords, some Terror Train of Terror. Twilight uses Ancient Research, checks the top two, some back flips, some kind of control engine using Photo Finish, Seikeza.
This is why you don't say keep before the turn player.
Curtis draws, probably likely draws twice more.
Draw a card? Yep. Draw a card? Yep. Also on the side of unsurprising
Would have done that in the other order. All right, here you go.
No one expects it.
Exhaust DJ draws one more time.
Does.
Banishes Cloud Chaser. He's got 2 blue rec for free for the turn. Probably doesn't want to drop the Lyra Bond yet.
Yeah, I can't do anything now.
Alright,
Maybe debating 2 bits first. Save an AT. Rainbow Dash on even ground. Jerkface comes out. This is going to stop Carrier from being able to bank multiple AT. He's about to lose 2. And then at end of turn, Curtis discards a T-Rex, or I'm sorry, an Epic Win. Kind of an interesting choice. Hasn't known what Twilight's playing yet. Maybe he's been facing the Frightened decks, thinking there aren't going to be a lot of troublemakers.
Sorry, where this happens. When I play cards top, yeah, fine. Bottom. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
Maybe some kind of toolbox control from Carrie here. We see an F-stop in hand as well. Oh, but I see a Rise and Shine, which means Carrie is playing Zippo.
Magical Misfire and Octavia.
Magical Misfire and an Octavia Harsh Judge going away.
Draw.
Curtis up to 2 AT.
And draw one.
Hey Yoshi, how's it going?
Draw one. Yay.
Draw another Jerkface. Not really ideal for Curtis, but might make things slightly more difficult for Twilight. He could resolve another one, begin confronting Locked Out.
Flip. I'm not leaning through it.
Lose 2 bits. Retires 2 bits. Lyrabon would also be a pretty good choice here.
3. Oh, fuck. Rack. Again. At 5.
You didn't get Luna though.
For phase.
Flat Chaser comes in for free. Exhaust reduces the cost of another Rainbow Dash Uneven Ground. Pretty efficient usage. Curtis will go to 1.
If you were trying to hold or not.
And Carrie drops the Aloysius to home to be able to try to make use of Twilight's ability, gain some AT on his own turn, which will not be subject to the loss of AT from Uneven Ground.
It's pretty painful. All right.
I guess I'll just go to Scorpions and get a point.
Dream Cavalry? Sure. Move DJ? Yeah. 4.
Moves DJ up.
3.
Exhaust Cloud Chaser.
Rutherford Frightening Aloysius.
There's a Prince Rutherford frightening Aloysius at home. Tries to shut off as much meticulous as possible. And we'll go towards a DFO. Now, that's a good flip for Carrie here. Flipping that opal is going to mean that one of his rainbows is going to be permanently banished.
What'd you have again? Sorry, you had 3, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3. And I had 3, 5. That's right.
And Carrie will, or Curtis will go up to 4 points. But Carrie flips into Spell Showdown.
Right. Reveal the top part of my deck. Play a certain card at the point. It's not an event.
Can I read that?
Sure.
Curtis looking at Zipper Will.
I also got to get myself. Okay.
Making sure he understands
Does
what the card does.
trigger putting a card on top of your deck?
No, because revealing
It just
is
reveals it, right?
Yeah.
It just reveals.
It never.
Yes. Okay. Meticulous. Put on top of my deck. There's a friend at home.
There is.
Draw off a turn.
Yep.
Carrie gains some AT. Goes up to 4 now. No yellow entry yet, so Zippo's not coming down quite yet. And Curtis does have the colors for a good amount of not only immediate speed tricks to try to play around Zippo, but also potentially removal for her through Food Fight. And of course, Prince Rutherford frightening as well, though one of those is now gone.
Same barrel name, yellow.
Sounds
That works. Okay. Turn. 1.
Alright.
For here. Rayburn, back into my hand, reduce the card by 2.
Untap. Get 3. Draw.
2. Well. 2. I fucked this up.
Zipper Will does come down
I already played it.
on Carrie's side. Curtis looking has a third Rainbow Dash Uneven Ground in hand.
1 draw.
And see, at this point, on even ground might actually be doing more harm than good for him. Just because he needs to be trying to make as efficient use of his AT as he possibly can.
No, I was hoping. I thought I can double for and I done do for no, I can't.
The Cloud Chaser is going to help with allowing him to do that, though.
Yeah, I'm at 3.
This is kind of to remember one. This does not have a menu. Is there a way to use those both to play something for free?
Okay, so this is the ordering of Cloud Chaser versus it's a secret every fun. Who was in play first?
This was in play.
Actually,
that was just
I'm gonna get Matt to tell me what this is.
Sure, I will absolutely look at how this works.
Never mind. Jason.
In case you didn't catch it, it's secret every pony versus exhausting for Cloud Chaser.
I'm going to challenge here.
Okay, he's got that. He's looking that up. This is one of those weird interactions that I always forget which way it goes. And I will add some time.
And there will be a time extension here as we look at this particular interaction.
Nightmare? It's a horse. Oh. Yeah, horse in black. I think it gets bigger. It gets bigger the more swamps you have. Yes, I know. I'm exactly shocking that now.
What does bands do?
Oh shit. Basically, if you're, it lets. I don't know what it does now, but what it used to do is it used to let you distribute damage when you if
other
you're
creatures that ban
for multi-blocking. So like normally, if you're
It's literally
multi-block, they can distribute damage. For band, you can distribute
It's like the
damage.
most confusing keyword ever printed.
That's why I don't print anymore.
So like if there's let's say bands with
It just says bands.
Yeah.
Okay, there's things like bands with other
All right.
Like forms like a rating band or whatever.
So like you
Just resolving this rules issue here quickly.
So it doesn't actually do what you think it would do. So
yeah, it's like you know what, you can look it up. There's like I don't know how many pages is it? 5 pages?
probably not. Yeah, but there's a reason.
There's a reason that I don't think it's been printed again since like 1905.
Yeah, I think I think even in Tempest it wasn't. I think that's when they dropped it. It's like really early in the game. You still looking it up?
Which one applies first?
Yeah, in other words, what I'd like to do is apply this one first, then apply that, so it's that equals a low
I
value.
think that's what's happened because this is in effect as like a continuous.
Yep.
Those are
This is a continuous modifier. This is a activated ability which creates a continuous modifier.
Plus 3 him at diligent 3.
A definite continuous modifier.
1.
And then you have to go and look at the resolution rules, and this is an indefinite, and this one is definite.
He stays at 5.
I was a judge for Magic, so I could do this stuff for Magic. I never learned the coding rules.
Oh yeah,
Quite in depth enough.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I care enough at this point.
I was playing an $8,000 plus cube the day before.
Oh, that was my
Thursday. So Magic and stuff. Yeah, I own Rayburn. Okay, all phones go home. And when you play like an $8,000 power cube, you get a lot of weird interactions already. Yeah. Nice. Black card face on there. I put 2 cards.
All right.
Your turn.
Okay.
all right. So now we've got that ruling resolved. And we'll just make sure the judge is able to go over and dictate that to the players.
Okay. I'm going to put these in this order. goes into the
Yeah.
queue.
Alright.
Dismiss.
So, never seen that before. Oh wait, I've seen it all the time. This is the difference in definite versus indefinite. This it applies earliest. This one applies first, and then this one. So this cannot reduce it below 1, and so if you try to play a 2 cost, it would still cost 1.
Is that because Cloud Tracer entered first, or is it
It's actually because it's. I don't think it matters because it's the because this one is indefinite.
What
And
does that
this one
even
is
mean?
definite. So this indefinite continuous modifiers means that this just exists forever, like until it stops
Oh,
existing.
okay, indefinite
This one
duration.
is until
End of.
Yeah, that you played next
No,
turn.
actually, that's the next turn you play this turn.
So that's kind of
Let me actually.
yeah, that doesn't have a clear duration.
Yeah, it lasts until you play a card. Sorry,
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, we're having fun.
This
We're
is
having
great.
fun. Yeah.
This is great.
The timer means nothing anymore.
No, you would get an extension for this anyways.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
There's a Shiva for Player Masters too. And I was playing an entirely Japanese it was Seal Grand Prix night for Player Masters, so all the cards were in Japanese.
Yeah.
So
Do you read Japanese? Okay.
barely, more than my friends, but not very well. So I found out from a judge that I could print a spoiler of every card in this version, have it on me on the table, and as long as I had it on the table, and I wasn't looking for answers through using it, and I was just referencing cards, it was fine.
Yeah.
But everybody I played against saw it and then called me.
Okay. Sorry about that, players.
Well, you're always allowed to ask for just the like.
So actually, that part doesn't matter. It is, but it is actually from earliest to latest. This one is earlier. This one is latest. So it actually is what I would originally thought it was. So yes,
So it
it
does
would.
work.
It would work. Yes, it would reduce it down. If you want to play a 2 cost, it would reduce it down to 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For players trying to understand what's going on there,
So
it's a
it
secret to
doesn't
every
matter
pony is a problem that says the first friend you play to this card's or the first friend you play to this problem each turn
Yeah,
um,
I watched
has
7
its
minutes, but
it costs 1 AT less to a minimum of 1 AT.
alright.
And Cloud Chaser says exhaust this card to reduce the cost of the next friend you play by 1. The question is, how do you determine how those modifiers are applied? And because of how continuous modifiers are applied, it doesn't matter whether they're definite, where they have a defined duration, or indefinite, where they last until they go away.
I turn the face off. I flip 2 cards.
Hello.
Friendship counter.
What matters is which one has the earliest timestamp, basically meaning which one started creating its modifier first. In this case, It's a Secret to Every Pony has a continuous modifier. It created its modifier before Cloud Chaser created her modifier, even though Cloud Chaser was already in play. So It's a Secret to Every Pony is applied first, and then Cloud Chaser is applied second, which does allow him to basically play a 2-cost friend there for free, as long as he exhausts Cloud Chaser. And he will choose to play a Lyra and Bonbon, putting the friendship counter on Rainbow Dash Uneven Ground at home.
Not meticulous.
No, we're at 3. Oh, 4 points per
Yeah.
turn.
Alright, top my deck. Game 1. Deal it.
I forget what I got. Nice.
Okay, and draw for turn. Done.
Man, that's game. Good game.
Can we just play it out, if you don't mind?
I can't actually do anything. I can confront once.
It's his right
That's
to
it.
surrender everyone.
I'm conceding.
I was just asking if you want to do that plan. What will I have drawn? I will draw another one.
What are my options here? Alright,
Yeah.
Pay 3.
Yeah.
play makeover.
There's nothing.
Name Twilight and White.
You have me. You
Uh-oh.
have me scared
Target
to throw
Rainbow Dash.
this.
No, that was working well, but I kept running out of the right kind of gas. And it's just like,
That Nightmare Moon really tripped me up.
Alright, 3.
I'm staring at that in my opening hand, just going.
So Twilight exhausting.
I don't like this hand anyway, but if you like your hand, then
Getting
I'll
the
like this
AT.
hand because it's got a nightmare.
I just got lucky that all my nightmares were up there.
Yeah.
Now we're back to Curtis. It's going to exhaust DJ, draw. We have seen a few events here. Sorry we missed some of that action as we were catching up with the rules. Drops another Lyra and Bonbon. That's going to add a counter onto the first one,
I'm sure there's some good head cannon there.
which will, I believe, provide Curtis with enough power to be able to confront.
Sure. 2 bits. Sure.
Now that's an interesting choice in wanting to play 2 bits against a purple deck, a purple-white deck that he knows is there, and leave that resource on the field where it could potentially be banished by Twilight.
Okay.
I designed my mode. Well, not specifically, but I have all 3 of the different letters. Luna's the first year, and I have the common night layer. And play it there. She goes over, confront that one, then we'll face off. There you go.
It looks like Curtis was able to use Food Fight to dismiss Zipperwill, who was in play on Carrie's side. And Carrie responded right back by playing Uh-oh on the Rainbow Dash on even ground that Curtis had played with the friendship counter on it.
With her, him, whatever you want to say, and Bolt, was he fully covered up?
0. That is correct.
I'm kind of hoping that you actually play Curtis, because that's going to be that's his
And her, I played against him, and yeah, the blue ones. Yeah, I played it, and it went in his favor this time, but he was saying
that's how those matches go.
yeah, we're well, he's in more.
Carrie's still thinking, plays Singing Barrel, gives Twilight another color, chooses white, pays 2, F-stop. Considers if he needs to return Singing Barrel to his hand, chooses to do so, and Curtis now checking his discard pile.
There was a request to display scorecards, although I think you record on your thing.
Yes.
So,
Well, I mean, here, no, it's in the middle.
if you want to duplicate it somewhere. There we go.
Well, that's his. I have 0 points.
Oh, you 0? Okay.
So, and he costs 1 to activate, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It goes
directly.
Sword base? When you lock it.
Yeah, you have anything? Really? Phase.
Yeah. So I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Discarding Tiny Glass of Water, or rather Glass of Water, I'm sorry, the purple-yellow song.
I could with this deck is it did not work well.
If he goes online, that's
Curtis again really wants to try to keep Twilight honest on AT, at least as much as he can. And thankfully, Carrie hasn't drawn into any of his paper Twilights, so he can't get that large AT bonus at the start of his turn. The danger in a very event-heavy deck, especially one like Zipperwill that has so many immediate speeds, is on even ground might not actually do anything against them if they have ways to be able to dump their AT at the end of their turn, or at the end of your turn, rather. And so you can just end up set back by it while your opponent doesn't really care. But since this is the 3rd Rainbow Dash on even ground that Curtis has played, chances are he thinks it's the right call. And Curtis has a lot of AT reduction effects here. He still has It's a Secret to Every Pony if he wants to play it over there. He still has Cloud Chaser, who he will exhaust now. Create the modifier. Spend 1. Looks like he's going to play a Prince Rutherford, maybe a Night Glider. Maybe all of them. Prince Rutherford comes in first, frightens F-stop. 2 AT remaining, can play Night Glider for free. Might choose to do this.
Night Glider? Sure.
Is a Night Glider overpowering?
2 for tank.
Tank to draw and discard. Draws into another Night Glider.
to double. Yep, we're good. Alright, so 7.
Alright, so Curtis is going to confront twice, and will handily win that face-off by that power, so that should give him a total of 5 points this turn.
Problems. Two Griffin Stones. Where are you at now? 9? I'm at 9.
And we'll have to see if he remembered to score 1 for that bonus.
And I still have no repopulation
Okay,
problem.
don't touch my
Let's see, I don't need anymore, and I don't need one of these rubber things.
You apologize for just yelling at me
That
for
one
no
was,
reason?
okay, to be fair, you're
Yep.
generally
Okay.
suspect.
Hey,
Sorry.
hey, hey. No, don't be like that. Don't be like that in this room. I don't care. You guys have a problem, sit out of the room and take it.
And with that flip of to Griffinstone, Curtis was able to move up the Lyra and Bonbon, who moves the other Lyra and Bonbon, putting him in position to confront that on his own. Another spell showdown
Sounds good.
flipped for Carrie.
Everything. Yes, I like that.
There's a paper twilight.
Game 1.
I got nightlight. I got nightlight.
You haven't scored 8 points, have you? Nope.
That was funny because he had like 14 power against my spike, and then I flipped and I
Real quick, how long ago was the face-off where you scored with Nightlighter?
That was on the last turn.
Did you also get the point for confronting? There was a question about that.
I believe. Oh, the bonus. I'm gonna skip the bonus point.
Yeah, the bonus point.
I probably did skip the bonus point.
That's
Like
like
70, 90, you get 10.
yeah, that's a mandatory thing. So yeah. Okay.
There we go, got that point value corrected.
There's 3 more in my bag.
What's her name? Purple? What? Zoe? Is everything? She married or something?
I think he's trying to.
And Carrie really needs to find some outs here. He really needed those outs a few turns ago. But those options do exist. He's got that Paper Twilight online now. If he can stop Curtis from getting 8 power over to Spell Showdown with 4 action tokens, then he might be able to do that. Carrie needs to find things that he can do with all his AT. He's got 4 of them right now. Could Unfrighten F-Stop, use F-Stop, draw, or get a card from his discard pile back into his hand, rather. Might just hold on to the 2.
You're banking 2?
Bluff a particular event.
And that is a main phase action. Untap.
Curtis confirming F-Stop can only be activated at main phase. Curtis gains his 4 AT. He'll be able to draw, maybe draw another card with DJ if he chooses. What he'd really like to see here would be something like an Ever Vigilant. If he can play an Ever Vigilant, then he could drop a Night Glider over to Spell Showdown, play an Ever Vigilant in between there, in between confront steps, rather. Move the 1 Night Glider at home up to Griffinstone, move the Night Glider without a friendship counter on it over to Spell Showdown, dragging the other, or the Lyra and Bonbon, I'm sorry, without a friendship counter over to Spell Showdown, dragging the other Lyra and Bonbon with her, and have 2 Night Gliders and 2 Lyra Bonds. So, maybe exhaust DJ, draw, hoping for Ever Vigilant, almost certainly playing it in this sort of a deck. Knows he can't bank any AT. Sees his snips and snails. Tyrik's Reign of Terror would also help.
Dream Cavalry.
Call in the Dream Cavalry, also not bad.
DJ.
Moves DJ for 1.
Move on any ground.
Moves Rainbow for 1.
Move.
Moves Rutherford for 1. Probably spends 1. Moves Nightglider. Exhaust DJ, draw a card. DJ will ready because there are 3 friends there.
Scoreface.
Hopefully good. Alright.
Which will
So start a score phase.
Yep, so that attacks start score phase. I assume you have a portal or something. And
Start of the
now-
score phase, can interdimensional portal,
Now we have
move Nightglider back home.
Second front here for 1. Correct. You're at 11. Alright, go to 11.
And then we'll be just shy.
Okay. Meticulous.
Now, because of that, 1 confront Carrie is gaining 5 AT this turn. Potentially up to 7 AT, counting the Paper Twilight and Twilight Main exhausting for her own ability. You know he has the photo finish in hand.
In one game where it was completely shuffled. And I don't know how the hell it happened.
Okay.
All 3 different wins.
He is at 7 AT. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. Cutie Pog Stare would be a great card for him to see, but I don't believe Zippo typically runs that. If he draws into another Zippo, then he can start making use of cards like Rise and Shine.
But there is a good time out rage quit.
But Zippo really needs to try to set up that lock early. And the pink aspect of Curtis's deck
White.
took care of that.
That's the reanimation.
Yeah, so Carrie's going to go ahead and play Redeeming Qualities, which will bring back Zipperwill from the discard pile to play.
He thumbed the table so much that some of the cards fell.
Still has 3 AT remaining.
Does that mean friends or characters? Characters.
I went right there, like, really?
Like, that's fine, but like,
And brings her back over to Griffinstone. Spends 2 AT, plays Furball. And Furball enters play or becomes frightened, I believe. He can put a 1-power yellow critter token into play. And Furball, of course, being a critter himself. Reading to see which friends he'd like to send home. He'll be able to send 2 of them home since 2 critters entered play at Zipperwill's problem. Or where Zipperwill was, rather.
He had, he flipped, what's her name? DJ, and had, Lou and Brianna problem, like,
2 triggers.
okay,
I'm gonna move.
we're gonna play
Lara.
flip,
Home.
allocate 1 friggin', like, I quit.
And DJ.
yeah, there's some good.
Move to Scorpions. Sorry, wait. Before I do that, can I point out?
It's not that hard to like,
Nice.
Chooses to move the Lyra Bonbon without the friendship counter on it back home. And moves the DJ back home as well.
That's a critter.
Probably a good choice.
Whoa, that's fighting words.
How, like, I don't give a crap about snakes.
He
So,
likes the squirrels.
And Carrie's still holding on
who do you
to
think you're talking to?
1 AT. Maybe for a Rise and Shine, perhaps. Critter's now at 5.
Let's just keep the conversations to a minute. I'm stressed. I'm trying to carry my thoughts. It's 11 to 0.
If he's got a blue friend with at least 3 power, do things he could do.
I can't figure out a way to lose. Happens. So you have 1 AT.
He's the one that comes up with all these shit.
Curtis counting, doing math, thinking, can I win this turn?
this was all me.
You guys have got 9 minutes left.
That's a lot of minutes.
About 9 minutes left in this particular match. And this is one of those things that's difficult about control. You know, I've been talking about Kerry needing to get that lockdown early. That is very important during a tournament when you are playing with the hard time limit. When you're playing top 16 at Gen Con or any other event that chooses not to use a time limit, then it doesn't matter what score your opponent is at if you're playing a hard enough control lock, as long as they're not at 15. It's entirely possible that with Kerry now having a good source of AT advantage and access to f-stop, that he could come back to regain control of the game, but with only 9 minutes left to play in the round, he's going to need multiple copies of Photo Finish and the ability to confront on his own in order to try to catch up to Curtis's 11 points that he's gained over the first 26 minutes of this match. Curtis moves DJ up. Says that's 7 power. Has a Wonderbolt's Wrap in hand.
Spitfire. Put Spitfire there. Yep.
Plays a Spitfire, putting 3 tokens into play over at Spell Showdown. Now, he's thinking Kerry probably has the Rise and Shine. Exhausted draw with DJ.
Further, so I think I'm just gonna draw a card. Yep.
Spends 1, draws a card. Doesn't want to waste any of his AT. Goes to score phase. Yep.
Two triggers. Okay. Fire. DJ Cody. Yep. That makes more sense. Okay.
I mean, if you got enough spell stuff, it doesn't matter how expensive.
Alright.
And Kerry again denying Curtis the ability to confront. Now, Curtis has no AT left and knows that Kerry can get back Rise and Shine if he chooses. In fact, if Kerry uses f-stop, Curtis will have a very good idea of what Kerry is planning on doing with any action tokens that he saves. Kerry reveals an Ari Mosby from the top of his deck. Probably not what he wants to see. One of those reasons you might want to consider using Meticulous first to get stuff on bottom. Although maybe he's hoping to actually just play the Troublemaker.
I'm sure there's a way to make it good.
There's a way to make every card good, but the problem is, like, you have to build the rest of the deck around the rest of the other cards.
Plays a Singing Barrel. Name's White. Gets a Photo Finish Seikeza on the field.
Really? Yeah, no, people have tried to do that.
Good choice. Plays that to home. Is one of those friends that could be removed if Curtis draws into a food fight. I believe he has a Rolling Tones in hand, which would also function okay. Exhaust f-stop. Looks at his options, says Interdimensional Portal.
Yeah, it's not, it was more fun, just like, oh, you know, expensive map. But
Okay. So what? Yep.
it's still really fun.
My turn? Yep. What is that? Oh, that's your score. Untap. Get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now, Kerry is on the board now, having been able to confront with all those critters and Zipperwill over at To Griffinstone.
It's really dependent because it might like my turn, their turn, if I have a Troublemaker flip up on it or another one. It's so
The blue is just one of those colors that's got that early game. And against a control matchup, that's really what you need. Either that or incredible staying power. And with a combination of pink, there's just a crazy amount of efficiency in Curtis's deck. I mean, we can count it. We've seen It's a Secret to Every Pony. We've seen Cloud Chaser. We've seen 2 bits. He has a Wonderbolt Trap in his hand. That's just playing efficiency. That's just reducing the cost of playing friends or cards in 2 bits case.
On boats
Wonderbolt
or
Trap.
motorcycles?
There's the Wonderbolt Trap. Mode paying 2 less. Plays the Rolling Tones.
Actually, that's not me. That only affects friends, it's not 2 bits, so I'll just pay 2.
Yep, and he did catch that.
So I'll have that active. And then I will tap that reduction to Wonderbolt Trap.
He's going to play another Spitfire.
Play there.
He's going to make a few more tokens.
And
Now he knows that Kerry can move 2 of his friends home. So depending on how he places these,
this is heard over there. And then I will.
he can basically guarantee a single confront this turn.
Spend 2, move Spitfire up there, and then I will go to my support phase. Okay. Seems good.
Okay, and that's really what he needed, was just the ability to confront one. And they're just going to go to face off.
So score point go to 14. Everyone goes home.
Kerry says, that's fine, you're at 14, but you just moved everything home.
Stone, blackmail, okay, it's that. All right, I'm going to move Lyra, take Lyra.
Flips another 2 Griffin Stone.
There. And then she's
Now this could be a chance for Curtis to potentially get rid of the uneven grounds if he wants, although I don't think that's what he's looking for at this point in time. Get rid of that Rutherford, not coming back anytime soon, not going to do anything good. Get rid of one of the Spitfires. Get rid of all the tokens. Those tokens are swift.
Okay, end of turn.
He's cleaning up. Spins 2 AT. Returns a card from the Zeuscard pile to his hand. Now blackmail in play is pretty helpful. Will allow him to basically be scoring extra points, and they do have a time extension here because of the delay with the rules question. Really, if you're Kerry at this point, you're fearing the immediate speed movement. You don't want to be the one to shoot first. Seven AT can do a lot of work with that. There's another Zippo in hand. May actually need to check and see if he played the Singing Barrel to get that color requirement.
I had to drop last year because I am working on I haven't actually seen this.
So it's kind of like Girls' Generation, but if it wasn't anime.
Transition now
K-pop.
after time.
Untap.
It's like a K-pop chick with Japanese pop.
You know AKB48. AKB48.
2 open.
Then he had the color requirement from those critter tokens. Drops Zippo.
Love live.
Anyone seen the new episode?
Starts confronting.
Sorry, I meant
Saves a few AT. Scores a point.
Yeah, we saw the episode.
Oh, shush, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything since the second
Have
season.
you seen Wake Up Boots? No.
I haven't seen anything since we
Oh, you
started
should.
again.
It's like Love Live, except for they're idols.
Curtis almost certainly going to be moving up Lyra Bond.
Three times tonight.
If I were him, I'd probably move up Lyra Bond for 2. Yeah, we'll see. He's got his own ideas. He's got another Wonderbolt's Wrap in hand.
I do have a home limit call, thank you.
As much as I'm rooting for you, I don't think those critters matter.
Not bad.
They're like light.
Exhaust draws.
14-1.
Setting aside his AT, seeing how he would like to spend it.
Alright,
Spends 1 Wonderbolt's Wrap
Rose tip. That's
in order to move a character,
not.
which moves the Lyra Bond, which moves the other Lyra Bond. Spends 1, 2 bits, dismisses. Pays 2 less, 3 less for the next card. 3rd Spitfire.
He really wants to confront that problem.
Yeah, makes sense.
Blackmail.
Um,
Don't like blackmail.
And Curtis just needs to confront for 1 point.
um,
2.5 hours long, one game. Game 2 in top 16.
Oh, yes. You guys are so far behind. It was like a
No, we didn't actually go into top.
Somebody else was slow. Anyway, because I think I was in like top 4.
And there's a Gilda, who's going to start a face-off.
No, this was this year. It was
Flips.
yeah, 6, right? Oh, yeah, right. When the
So we're just kind
It's
of
all
sitting
good.
there, like,
and
eventually one of us finally dug in and
And,
things happened. And it's like, yeah, gotcha. But it took 2.5 hours to get to that.
One game left,
so
2.5 hours.
However, isn't there like time in the race?
Not
That's not just a knockout match.
Oh.
actually,
Look, he won nationals.
Yeah. Well, for us here, we're gonna do 45.
This is tier 2.
let's do,
What I like the stock thing is 45.
Wonderbolt's Wrap to
Maybe
move,
just do 45.
Wonderbolt's Wrap. Moves DJ up, says, I will absolutely confront this problem no matter what you are able to do. Oh, nope, moves up on even ground.
I will go to my score face. Do I score? Yep.
And that's going to be game.
See, this is what happens when you play Magic. You play your oaths and you just pretend that you have answers.
Yeah,
And then
that's
you
what
have
I
no
did.
Well, I was
That's
just-
what I did.
Well, I was trying to see if
Here, you got it.
No, you
No.
Wait, okay, Curtis.
Yeah.
Both seeds.
And so that will be game.
Although it's okay, but
I just want, those
Cadenza
just to
is
see
spelled
on
with a
even
C,
grounds
thank
for
you.
early.
Yeah, no, that's why I have 3 of them.
Yeah, no, they're fine, right? But
Yeah,
I was
three
fine
of
with you
them.
having 1, but you have 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well I can get rid of 1, but it's gonna take me forever to get rid of the other one.
Yeah, we're talking about that on even ground. Or the zipper wheel, I'm sorry.
I'm probably not going to win. It's 3 on 3.
This has surprisingly.
Honestly, I didn't think you had any other outs because I had it set up. You had two of the instant 2 players.
My only out was 2 of these.
Yeah, but I had enough. Even you sent 4 home. I sort of been able to
Yeah, you should have fine. No, it was like the uneven grounds were so painful that I just had to like score until I had enough AD to actually use my deck and because all the dudes I want to play first cost like 3.
Yeah.
Right, and being stuck on 2 or 3 was really hard.
Harry, I'm sad at you because you have turned me into a deck box snob.
So that deck box, I'm not. Cool.
What?
You wanna play right next to the stream? Curtis?
What?
Moving into round 4 here.
This one.
Okay.
Not playing on the stream though.
You don't want to play on the stream.
No, I don't.
All right, how do we handle that? I don't care.
Then just don't play.
Sit somewhere else.
Jeez.
Table one is where, just sit somewhere else.
You just play in the
Okay, we
middle.
just move. All right.
Yeah, so we don't have to move anywhere.
So
And as we move into round 4 here, we'll have to see. We've seen the Vinyl Explosion, obviously leveraging its AT advantage to its advantage. We've seen a couple of variants on Princess Twilight. We saw Zipper Will control here. We saw Princess Twilight in blue with the Frighten control.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay, so
We saw Queen Chrysalis playing Bedtime control, the double Octavia match.
There's crap over there.
Whatever. Jesus Christ, Curtis. Calm down, Curtis.
So, yeah, the funny thing is I'm not using that deck box for ponies anymore because
It's full of magic now.
it's now full of magic.
All right.
Magic protection.
And I believe I know that guy on the right. How's it going, Aura?
How would I do that? What?
8. I wanted the
Roll for best pony.
No,
Pretty sure I win that.
It's pretty much just pony anyways.
Yeah, I think I win that. All right.
How's that even work?
It doesn't. It's just funny because people look at it and go, "What?"
I kind of like
Well,
how people
I-
watch it, making sure I don't do anything.
In my opinion, I won that roll.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. It's like, no, let's have an argument about.
See,
this.
okay, is Twilight a 6 or a 1?
Twilight is considered a
I
42.
have PTSD from that thing, so.
I'm not saying it's...
There are 42 points. 7 stars.
I mean, okay, well, let's see here. 1, 2, 3.
Now, 1.
Come on, man.
1, 3, 3, 3,
What a
3,
shame.
42.
I don't believe. How is this not, like, 12?
She's doing start.
Come on. There needs to be some
Because
non-arbitrary rules
okay,
here.
so fall weather friends, right?
Yeah.
Twilight's the number on Twilight's 42.
Yeah, I gotcha. That would be quite problematic if I needed more dice.
I will keep.
And I bet you're gonna open the thing at your research.
All right. So Kerry will get another chance here
I can, but I won't.
to try to show his control against One Punch Mare being piloted by Auracat. Maybe he can get the lockout a little bit sooner. Zipper Will's got pretty good options.
Don't you go to Sunday?
I got free apps.
I haven't been able to make it.
I'm not sure whether I like this.
And probably gonna continue
Free app.
with it because next week is Megan's party, and then for some party, I have one thing I'm probably
That's right. Magic actually lets you shuffle.
What? Ponies is 2, right?
No, ponies is cut. Magic exclusively lets you shuffle.
Whatever. I don't think I've ever seen the difference.
I just find it kind of confusing.
Well, I mean, that's all like a very confused.
Oh, I didn't know you were. All right.
We're supposed to start yet.
I mean,
Cheese, Spanish cheese.
All right, players looking at their hands here, deciding. Now, One Punch Mare is going to be fast and furious. I think a lot of this is going to depend on whether or not Auracat gets the ability to resolve a Thunderling.
let's see.
If he can, and he can win a face-off with it, or otherwise get counters on it, Zippo might be in trouble. However, if Kerry can get Zippo out early, preferably with an F-stop, things might go very differently.
Yeah, there's a path.
Sure.
Look at that. All right. Get 2+1. Draw a card. Changes things slightly. Okay. Roll.
All right, so Ara's up first, or no, Ara's up second. Move.
Okay.
And passes the turn with 1 AT saved up due to second chance.
Oh, I wanted to see a Dr.
upset about that going away.
Carrie, of course, flipping Twilight.
Well, that's because the way they banned it. But
Gets a paper Twilight on turn 2. Just about the best thing he could hope for. Still has 1 AT saved up. No longer facing down an uneven ground.
I will. Um. I'm kind of surprised. Well, I'm not surprised that they did that. That does set precedent.
Carrie dropping his own Troublemaker. Saving that 1 AT Aura Cat. Up to 3 AT. It's going to uncover his Troublemakers.
Right, that's right. Okay. Where'd that come from?
Uncovers a Starlight Glimmer.
Mystery.
Uncovers a King Sombra. It's going to move Rainbow Dash up to King Sombra.
Now I have it. Can I sell this for $5? Okay. Got real price.
Let's challenge here. So
Challenges. Flips Rainbow. 5v5 going into the face-off. Carrie with no AT left. Blind flips Zippo. Oof. Our cat flips a Rainbow's Epiphany. They are, I believe, currently tied. Aura deciding if there's anything he'd like to do. Has a Rutherford in hand. Could drop that now. Guarantee the win of the face-off.
Oh, you gotta do something.
now,
You?
yeah.
Move your character through problem. Oh, okay.
Oh, and the blind flip of Evervigilant
I forgot it was the.
continually haunts One Punch Mare.
That was a mistake.
Aura now really looking for options. He's probably going to be forced to just lose this face-off. He's thinking, he'll just play a Rutherford. Over to that problem. Frighten the friend at home.
She loses the. So, as soon as she moves away, she's no longer in the face-off.
Yep. She does not have the color requirement any longer.
Yep.
So Aura is not able to play that Prince Rutherford.
I wanted to do that before I'm making the plan. It's like, nope. Damn.
Nope. Alright, well,
Cool.
I'm probably dead.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, at least she got boosted. Alright, fine. Exhaust move back over. Here you go.
I don't know about that.
Carrie goes up to 2 AT. Almost.
Good catch.
Yeah, those Evervigilant flips, they'll get you every time.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Flips an Aramosby, not surprising. Pretty good play against Rainbow Dash, although if Aracat does in fact have the Thunderlane in hand and can play it, then that's actually potentially worse.
More paper twine.
Another Paper Twilight. Exhaust gains AT. Draws, goes down to 2.
Some tokens. Ready some cards.
Now at a lot of AT. Now Aura's got 5 AT here and might just choose to drop something before flip, but does not. Is currently winning the face-off. Decides spend for Thunderlane.
So you've got some pain going. Alright, let's see. I'll take the win. So.
Rutherford on the bottom. Thunderlane got that power. Probably going to move over immediately and challenge Aramosby, would be my guess.
Thanks.
I don't mean it like that.
would be up by 1 power base. Yep, he is in fact going to do that.
And he will attempt to punch again. 6 on 5. Son of. Wait. It doesn't have to be him.
No, it doesn't.
Alright, so now it's really gonna die.
Are flipping the other ever vigilant. This one actually working to his favor and putting an F-stop on the bottom of Zipper Will's deck. So Zippo gone, F-stop gone. Moving over, confronting. Probably a double confront here since Thunderlane is now at 8 power. Can simply move for 1 action token back over after they confront. So that puts Aura at 2 AT for having defeated his Sombra, no AT for having defeated Aura Mosby, could go up to 3, 4, 5 points if he wins his face-off, which he almost assuredly will.
Face off. DFO?
Flips a Rainbow's Epiphany, flips a Photo Finish. Carrie seeing all the stuff he'd like in his hand going to the bottom of his deck. Alright, having played that other Troublemaker to set up for the next face-off to Griffinstone, very good, moves Rainbow up there. Blackmail, going to be difficult for Arcat to confront, but not impossible. Especially not with the Diligent that'll be on Thunderlane, the power counters.
I'm in the danger zone here because this could go real bad for me.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? Drop a turn.
And hold a minute. Those two. One of those.
Fun pack.
So let's get these out of here.
Shiny Suri.
It's up to the punch.
Carry at a
Card.
rather obscene amount of AT this early on.
Alright,
Can afford to draw for days.
sandwich play here.
Collect packs. Yep. I'm gonna draw another card.
Here you go. Troublemaker. Crazy fun. I don't know what the rec is on it, but it's not going to be easy.
Maybe downright impossible. I can't even open this one. Draw another card.
Drawing, looking for maybe entry into his yellow, maybe another Zipper Will, knowing there's one on the bottom of his deck.
Well, it's not responded.
How big is ball right now?
Bound to work sooner or later.
You would think.
Carry counting cards in hand. Down to 5 AT. 4 draws. Difficult to see what he's actually finding here, but he's definitely found stuff to pitch based on stuff he's leaving on the table there. Arcat with another Owie Zodal in hand. So he's got fuel for the fire for beating his Troublemakers. Finds a Gyro. It's a pretty good play.
Shuffle effect.
Hoping to get some of those valuable friends back on top of his deck.
It's on the bottom. Nice.
I reveal it, don't I?
Yes, that has to be portal. Okay. Basically. He's currently sitting on 4.
Tutored interdimensional portal. Good call. Interdimensional portals the Thunder Lane immediately, choosing to get rid of all the diligent counters on it so that there's no way that Arquette can move it without having to play another event, of which I'm sure he has plenty, but also resets his power back to the normal 5. Goes to score phase. Does not confront. Discards Makeover, Bewitched Beavers, Opalescence, among other things.
Very sad. All right.
It's another King Sombra. Probably going to challenge.
No, we're yeah, that's right. We're still 3. Okay. Very sad.
Arquette with 3 AT. Gotta go fast will be a pretty good play right about now. If a Vigilant would too, but 2 of those are on the bottom of his deck. Rainbow's Epiphany wouldn't be too bad.
Let's challenge here. 5 on 5.
We're here for one.
I believe that's the second Rainbow.
Okay.
Mars is okay. I'll take 2. Phase 2 moves Thunderlane, moves up, confronts. Aura up to 8 points.
Score face. Go. 8.
Well, 8 points now. Carry first Meticulous, bottom. Second Meticulous, bottom. Third Meticulous, bottom. Doesn't like any of that. Draws instead. Exhaust goes up to 7.
Draw a card. Right letter. Draw a card. Go to Scorpius. All right. It's your turn.
Yeah, that's if you wash your hands before you.
Carry thinking of his options.
These aren't like
I'll look at his hand as well.
she's let me his OPM deck.
That means cheese doesn't wash his hands.
I don't know. Cheese has a. I made a change to my copy that probably hurts it. I didn't bring the cards to fix it, so I'm just borrowing these because it's identical.
Now this particular build of One Punch Mare is the more common build that we see that runs a problem deck that is focused around making sure that you are able to confront every single one of your own problems, really trying to leverage Thunderlane rather than just using Rainbow to beat up troublemakers. And so even though it doesn't play looking for trouble to get extra points for beating things at the beginning, you have a much better time getting to problem face-offs, being able to play around Photo Finish Seikeza or Blackmail like we see here. Carrie does have the Octavia Harsh Judge.
Oh, you should have left it out.
Owzodle uncovered. Will frighten that friend up there.
What does fruit bat round up to?
As many action tokens as you have used at the start of turn.
That really is a good card.
Alright, let's play Gambit. I'll go to score phase.
Alright, Ara goes to score phase. Having flipped the Owzodle and doing nothing else.
Reactions?
And confronts for a point, putting himself up to...
Back and forth.
And Carrie does not respond. Up to 6 AT. First Meticulous.
I'm actually just going to pass. And then I will.
On the top. Exhaust Twilight. Up to 7 AT. Gonna go up to 9, exhausting all the paper Twilights. He's got the Singing Barrel. We know we can get entry to yellow.
Man, that's a lot of tokens.
Not to full power.
That is too much tokens.
Too many.
Too many. Too much.
Now, Ara, I believe, does have that second Thunderlane in hand, and with the first Thunderlane on the field, he actually doesn't need Rainbow to get involved in a face-off to get that color requirement. So he might just flash that in at his Troublemaker phase in order to be able to challenge.
Oh, that's right. I got rid of Rainbow Dash. Alright, never mind.
No, no, it just happened.
Uh-oh. You're at Zippo?
Carrie plays Barrel.
Zippo.
Names Yellow. Drops a Zippo in. Down to 4.
I was that person last year.
Plays Rise and Shine. 2 critters in play. Thunderlane Rainbow back to home.
Start 6, 8,
Pays for Rise and Shine.
No, you didn't. You're good.
I did not quite catch what card Octavia Harsh Judge named. Could be Rutherford, could be Thunderlane. Guess we'll see on Ara's next turn.
You got it. Gain one, lose one. Stay free.
Yeah, that's right.
Light gliders.
Cost me 1 point.
Yeah.
And
I know how to play this game.
and I will.
It's okay. No one knows how to play this game.
Clearly a score base. So I do score. Okay, so that goes
I resent that, Ara.
8.
I vaguely know how to play this game.
What's your base?
Yep.
So does your judge.
You currently have 7.
I'm going to 10 seconds flat rainbow over here.
Yeah,
Silly
Plays
card.
a 10 seconds flat,
Yeah, score phase, not bad.
moving Rainbow at the start of Carrie's score phase.
Yep.
This better not work. Okay.
Well, things can work. You never know.
Troublemaker phase. I will initiate the challenge. So let's. All right.
All right, counting.
Starts. I'm
5
doing
AT.
this right now so that we don't have a repeat.
Rutherford frightens Zippo.
Octavia.
No, frightens Octavia Harsh
I got
Judge.
3 flips.
Royal Guidance versus Aoi Zodal.
Oh yeah, I can't do that. I don't have white.
You do not have white. That's correct.
Doesn't have white. Beats Aoi Zodal. Unless Aura wants to burst of speed Thunder Lane.
Yes, I would in fact like to do so. We'll burst the speed. And now that Octavia's gone, yep.
Yep, so Octavia had named Thunder Lane, so Aura wisely chose to frighten that.
I'm gonna lose those tokens anyway. Do I play this anyway?
Terry looking, he has the Rise and Shine. So he could move home Rainbow, he could move home Thunder Lane.
Wait, where are we right now?
Um,
We're still in resolution. I think we have to figure out who
we're
wins
still,
yet.
yeah, we're still prior.
Um,
Okay, that goes in.
you're not in
But I,
yeah. Already dumped it to the bottom.
yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll let that resolve.
Okay, by the check.
Does it shine targets?
Thunder Lane and Rainbow Dash.
Took a Thunder Lane Rainbow Dash. Correct choice. Gets more critters into play over at Two Griffin Stone.
Let's get one of favorite twice.
Aura plays.
I should definitely hit Zippo. I should hit Zippo earlier. Oh well. Let's see. That puts us tied.
We'll go to next flips. Nightmare Star versus Furball. Yeah, that's a bit of a power difference there.
Yep. Get that one for 2.
Aura gets 2 points, goes up to 11.
Lose all my tokens.
And you have how many HHC banks? 9. All right. Yeah. Score your point.
Loses all his tokens. Now Kerry is going to get on board here.
Blackmail.
Sick.
You're on the board.
On the board.
Because Aura was not able to confront
We are at 5.
because of the timing and how he played those
2
cards.
to 7. Paid 1 for Rise and Shine. Yep. Okay. What I got here? Ridiculous.
I really should have secured that Zippo. Oh well. I guess you could have had it.
To 8. So make a face, main phase. Game 2.
We're gonna need a D20 real soon here.
I had a D20 last game. Or game previous.
Up to 10 AT now.
Unfrightened.
Definitely going to rally Zippo. Now with both of those Thunder Lanes at home with no power counters on it, it's going to be more difficult for Aura to be able to close out the game. Because he won't be able to move at immediate speed in response to any of Zippo's tricks.
Unfrightened Octavia.
All right. Sweet. Into the light. F-stop.
Get back into the light.
F-stop.
Yeah.
There's the F-stop. Aura knew it. Spins 2, returns Rise and Shine. Wise choice.
Why would you even assure? Why would you move them if they didn't matter?
Because they had the competitive.
Oh, competitive.
That's why I killed that after the start of the season.
That makes sense too.
Confronts for a point.
Why did you switch to Rebecca?
The camera's oriented this way. All right. You good?
Yep.
All right. Let's get 5. Card.
Jeez, how much longer?
Nah.
Spencer, how much longer?
entirely too much media on your side of the field. What?
8:30.
Are you guys already done with your game?
Yeah, it's first one.
How you doing? What round was this?
Ara thinking about what he can do
We're playing 5 rounds with how many people?
with 5 AT, knowing that Carrie has the Rise and Shine in hand.
Never played.
Better play moves and strange and mysterious.
Or no? Yeah.
Like Manning Tanner on a Saturday. That was on a Saturday.
Yeah, I don't count that. For a low number of rounds, it's log ceiling of log 2 plus 1.
I mean, they probably worked on it.
For players less than 16, wouldn't 4 rounds be enough? Or 16 or
Well,
less?
it's enough to give you undefeated, but they generally want one more round to Swiss.
Center play.
There's a reason for this, but I haven't like sat down and done the math.
Not even MTG does
Yeah, Ara does need multiple villains here. I think you're right, Tiger.
it. I wish I was playing Magic right now.
Swing for 2.
Good idea, Matt.
Well, good thing I got like 6 blockers. Probably be it. It's very similar skill set. You're pretty good at this. So. You'd be swinging for 5 anyways.
Does it have death touch?
I have life.
Squirrels don't.
I want to make a family and have a baby in a house. Drink wine and watch
Ara's
movies.
best bet
Had 15 squirrels.
is probably drawing, hoping for additional TMs. However,
15 squirrels can block an
he'd really need 2 of them
Doesn't have to go to school.
since Carrie can just go back
Need a rat is what I need.
and get Glass of Water back. Glass of Water in conjunction.
Oh, I just can't count. That is my problem.
How do you get hired and not?
They don't hire me to count things.
Because Carrie is now gaining 2 a turn. Ara draws into another Troublemaker.
Making you a shiny character.
No, I'm sorry, draws into a Zap. Not going to do him a lot of good. Really something he would have rather flipped.
I do.
Can I tattoo this on your face, Curtis?
What if it has a butterfly?
Tattoo? Why can't I put a tattoo on your face? I Fluttershy. Can I do it?
I know.
Why? Why?
Running events.
Really? That's the best time to do it.
All right.
Scissors? Skizzers?
Yeah, referencing what she said, like, you open a pack and just like electric Cracker Jack fall out.
Moves up Rainbow Dash for free,
That's the thing I can do.
exhausting her to use her ability. Is probably going to force Carrie to need to move some stuff away.
2 tokens, score phase, don't score, take point.
But each turn that goes by, it's getting Carrie closer and closer to victory here as long as time isn't called. Ridiculous, he likes that card.
And 1 plus 5, so 8. Draw turn.
There's about 5 minutes left in the match. Gains more AD, goes up to 10.
You have too many ads. I'm not okay with this.
But you have too many points.
That's true.
Who's
I'm
more
with
okay
that.
with things?
I think I'm more okay with
I
the
think
points
you're
than I
more
am with
okay
the
with
ads.
things here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I'm not okay with that, but I also can't do anything about that. So.
Draws. I think that's a Royal Guidance, not going to be useful at this point in time.
Photo finish.
Photo Finish is going to help though.
That's right. You have a thing. Never mind.
Draws into difficult to see. Looks like an Ari Mosby. And this could be good. If he exhausts F-stop, brings back glass of water, which he does, turns face down Troublemaker face up, R.A. Mosby.
Oh, you're doing reveal instead of. Okay. Alright.
Tells R.A. he's not going to get any points for beating a Troublemaker this turn.
No, that's good. That's good. It's good. Yep. Yep.
Curtis, is this yours? I thought yours was
Okay.
Scores another point
Terry should give me his.
for confronting.
Yeah.
Now, if R.A. can't find a way to confront, he's looking at giving Carey 2 points at the end of his turn because of photo finish.
I guess I might as well start with face off. Probably
I'm
something
2 and 2 right now.
Probably something amazing.
But
I
you
could
two
flip
are
something
the ones
amazing.
who
Gotta watch it.
Oops, sorry. Flip the F stop though. I'm
I
okay
don't know
with
if I
that.
want to be topic.
I'm up 8.
Yeah.
Quick night later.
He did manage to flip the F-stop, or rather R.A. managed to force Carey to flip the F-stop by challenging the R.A. Mosby. Flips T-Rex Reign of Terror. Bit unfortunate for each player, probably things they'd like to see.
Let's see, that doesn't uncover, so nothing new there.
So excited for the finish on his forehead. Is it done? Is it done? Can I feel it off?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, yep.
The problem with playing a deck with black sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is? But these are the best sleeves I've ever played with, so.
What are they?
Got that home limit issue resolved.
Oh, nice. I have a package of those. I haven't opened them yet.
They are the slippery stinks mint to man.
R.A.
No, I'm pretty sure Dragon Shields take that.
No. You've never
looking
opened,
for what to do.
Open, sleeve a
Oh
deck,
my god.
put it there, 50% chance to start sliding off.
Nice.
But once you break it in for a shuffle, it's like a dream. A couple games later, you're perfect.
Yeah.
Log base 2 of the number of players rounded off. It's also what Twitter play recommends. It has the method your play uses up to like 16 players.
Okay, what's fortune now? Alright.
R.A. plays the T-Rex Reign of Terror.
Thunderlane.
Moves Thunderland.
Oh, this is cheaper. It is cheaper.
Moves Thunderland to blackmail.
Let's go to Scarface. How many Rise and Shines you got?
1.
One? Alright. What you gonna go?
Thunderlane and Thunderlane.
You got it.
So is this
That
like
was
a,
amazing.
have you watched this?
It's horrible.
It's anime girls?
Good.
It's
Yeah.
called Love Live.
Point.
It's an
I
anime
believe
thing.
you're going to win.
Okay.
Is it on like Netflix or something or Hulu?
Oh, not really.
Love Live.
Maybe. There's
Do I have to
one
go
way
to like
out.
some weird Crunchyroll site?
This sounds like
Well, it's either on Crunchyroll or torrent.
Sounds like some
There's
terrible anime. One way out of
It's
this.
really popular. I've heard it
What
a
is
lot.
it?
It's an idol show.
Ridiculous.
Idol. So it's 9
Top.
It's 9 hot girls that
Game
sing.
1.
Oh no, you're gonna
They're
force a
not
tie.
all
They're all
They're all
anime.
anime.
Now, when you say hot,
Show off
you are
return.
referring to, yeah, no, I'm saying
Game
like
phase.
when you, they're not like,
Game 2.
Looking for what he can do.
I don't think hot.
He says he has an out.
I have no idea. I've never seen it.
Especially for girls of that age.
Super cutesy.
Yeah, did you pay for the Rise and Shine?
And there is
Yeah.
a difference.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
You can do it.
I suspect it doesn't matter.
Well, I suspect it actually does, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Well, you guys are
Well,
tied.
I was
So.
at 3 and went 2.
I think the
4,
Rise and Shine
5, 10.
one. But, all right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was at 3.
Whatever.
Did you go first, John?
Now,
All right. Looking at his cards, trying to decide what can he.
let's see. So what does he have to do?
Yes,
here?
he will end.
Well, Jeff was called on Jeff's turn.
Yeah,
But I went first.
it was
Yeah,
his
so
turn.
it would
So
we doing
his
extra
the last turn is his turn.
No, okay, so the question there, was it called on my turn?
No, it's on my turn.
Okay,
Because
so
I was
yes.
untapping everything.
So you
Oh,
will
okay.
complete your
All
turn.
right, I
Yeah,
need
that already
five.
passed turn.
Yes.
I need 5 points.
Yeah.
You could get more than
Hey, now this
That
guy's
can be arranged.
What's that?
Yes, it is.
No talking.
Suggesting the possibility of something to make people think in ways they might not have otherwise.
Looking to see any outs. He
I know.
But they should really bring back something. 6. That is some legit good music. Okay. 789. All right. Going for the tie. I can cause a tie.
carries open for the top.
I'm pretty sure I can cause a tie.
You need to move photo finish up.
Let's stop. Turn Rise and Shine to my hand. Photo finish.
Plays a photo finish.
Where is that? Here. Here. Okay.
Brings him down to 6.
What's happening here?
Finishing
This
up.
is they're finishing up their game run overtime. Yeah, 280 left.
Zippo.
You are gonna have such a home limit problem.
Fine. Curves are expendable.
Actually, this could get really funny depending on what's flipped.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Now he's
Can't do that.
Commentating.
So you're gonna confront one too?
Yeah.
All right. You got it. Please be the card. No, it's not the card I want. Terrible. All right.
Score 3.
Pretty sure you're gonna win that. Yep.
So you're at 9 points.
Correct.
We
Everything goes
are
over.
very likely going to tie.
goes to 9.
Okay, this is home for now.
Yeah. Okay, that goes away.
Party for Moon Dancer. Now he's going to have to leave 2 photo finish at home.
Let's see. So you have to keep.
Gets rid of F-Stop. Gets rid of Princess Twilight. Leaves 2 Zippos, 2 photos. 1 paper Twilight.
All right. So let's see. All right.
What was Octavia blocking?
Nothing.
Got skirt.
I got through that.
Aura's at 7. A single copy of Rutherford to frighten photo finish would do it.
She's wearing
Calling the
Okay. So.
She's not married.
Calling the Dream Cavalry plus another blue friend might.
Might to either scare a photo finish or successfully confront.
Aura looking for something. Ever vigilant.
That's true.
No, I meant IDP.
All right, no more talking. Seriously. This is useless right now. This will not help. That will not help. That will not help. That will not help. Okay, so
Your turn
handful of dead
today.
cards. Dig. Does not help. Dig. Also does not help.
All right, dig in more.
Dig. No.
Dig in more. Digs more.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Tie.
Score 2. Tie
That's
game.
going to be a tie.
Who's conceding?
What concede?
But you guys both lose. That's not the thing.
I think we both win.
We both lose and funny rolls.
I know, but we win the moral fight.
Yes, we win the moral fight. That's exactly what's up.
Okay. So idols dress up in a lot of different costumes to sing songs. That's
Is
one
there
of
like
them.
a song about marriage? Is that why she's in marriage?
No, but there was a song that involved one person in a bridal outfit and 5 other people in tuxedos.
Okay. Jason,
And it wasn't about getting married.
All right. So how far down is the last?
Rutherford?
Done it.
Prince Rutherford.
Well, I don't see how.
Or that. No, actually.
No, this one.
That one.
He wasn't seeing Rutherford anytime soon.
That was not going nowhere.
Okay.
Oh, I see. You're trying to find Rutherford to fight.
Yeah,
What is
I
it?
had. Did you have a portal in hand? Okay.
I had a
If you
crack
were
in the
just gone-
case in case you had like an evergreen or something like that.
Oh.
I was thinking the entire game for a purple.
What a game.
Sure, or something similar.
Just, you know, very.
Or another
I don't
or
want.
another thing like that.
You can concede. That's fine.
So, did you have anything if you were just gone for it? If you were just like gone to score a point?
I mean, if I had an extra turn.
No, I'm saying, did you have anything to stop him if you were just move guys up to score?
You know, I think
I had so he needed to frighten
Yeah.
one of my guy frighten one auto finish or move 6 people over here.
Yeah. And still have 6 power at the end of that.
Yeah.
After he rise and shines. Which no.
Alright, good game. That was fun.
That was a game. Okay, so what is?
Clean. You and I are right over here.
about the topic.
Hey, it was serious.
It's super
It was
serious.
serious.
Why so serious?
Tell me why.
Hey, no.
Tell me why, Chief.
What I want to know is who would have won if it had continued.
Him.
All right.
Really? Yeah. He had the lock.
Moving to game 5.
Geez, does it actually matter if I change that to a C?
It's already recorded. Yeah, once the game ends, the game's over.
We didn't sign the thing.
Yeah.
Where's our match slip?
Where's our match slip? Yeah.
Okay, geez. Could you explain to me why we're playing
Why does concede better than that's what it's high. Oh, they do. Oh.
So, are you undefeated or?
3-1.
Okay.
Though I did get a buy for the first, for my official self, I do not count that as a win. Even though it technically is, but
Counts for the score.
yeah. Problems. Starting problem.
All right. DJ versus Bluna for our round 5.
And that's when her ability comes in, so she's always last.
Okay.
Unless you tap her, or exhaust her, sorry, and then flip the problem.
Okay.
Like the zip and fails or something.
Yeah.
Then it would, but that would be weird.
This one is almost certainly going to be fast and furious.
The DJ. Broken DJ.
Oh, again.
I'm going to assume you're not playing tiles,
4.
but I will see.
Go second.
I roll?
20.
Sure. 14?
16.
Alright, Siren.
Okay.
All right.
I will go first.
Alright.
See what I got. Okay. That's something. See what it does. Gain 2 attacks.
All right. Luna starts things off, gaining 2 AT, passes the turn. DJ gains 2, draws a card.
Go ahead.
Thanks 2, passes turn. Interesting choice against another opposing blue deck, knowing that you're running Rainbow Dash Uneven Ground yourself. Surprised he
Move.
chose to bank there.
Raybird back to my hand. Requirement.
Oh, we're seeing Luna Orange here.
1 for Rebel Stadium, exhaust, and 1 for well, Luna, score phase. 1.
Yep, and he'll confront, get that bulk on the field. It's a pretty explosive turn for Bluna. DJ exhausting. Draws into Uneven Ground, Wonderbolt's Wrap.
I don't have the left.
What?
I don't have the left.
No, I mean, it's starting the game rolling.
Yeah.
DJ thinking very hard about what to do here. He can banish Cloud Chaser. He can get his blue requirement down by 2.
Let's exile Cloud Chaser.
And that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yep. And play Wonderbolt's Wrap.
Plays Wonderbolt's Wrap, reduces cost of next friend by 2. Plays Cloud Chaser, exhausts.
Cloud Chaser.
Drops another Cloud Chaser.
Gain 2 still.
Yep.
Draw 1. Ready. What can I possibly do? Not me enough. We essentially have 4 next turn. I cannot double confront, and I'm Just go to score phase. The friend.
Goes to score phase. Confronts for a point.
Yeah, turn. 2.
Goes up to 2.
Tap, draw.
Curtis should be gaining 3 this turn.
Two AT. Draw.
Looking at his options again. Exhaust both Cloud Chasers. Get a free friend potentially. There's a tank. We'll draw a discard. Discards the Snips and Snails Problem Solvers. And plays Rainbow Dash on even ground. Gets on the board with 1 point.
A lose 2, gain 3. Draw dice. I will exhaust and 3 for Thunder Lane.
Oof. Exhaust reduces the cost.
For both.
Plays a Thunder Lane.
1, 2, 4. Face off. Wow. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Versus 4, so you clearly win.
Alright.
It's quite a bit of diligent there. Wins the face-off quite handily.
1.
So that's going to put him up to 5 points.
+1. And he's at 3 power.
Yep. Oh, that's the total power.
Yeah, and I'll put that beside 5 + 2. Yeah.
Can we keep it consistent? Like, if we're gonna do like whether it's total power.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the.
I don't care which one, but yeah, I'd like to keep it consistent.
Sorry, yeah. I keep free. I have a little dice here. Where's 7? There's 7.
Okay, cool. All right, everyone goes home. No problems.
And with that diligent power on Thunder Lane now, he's looking at some pretty swift movement.
Okay, and I have done my turn.
All right, tap 3. Draw. Um.
No. So you get 1 for cutie marking and 1 for disability. Yeah.
Curtis now going to have to fight against pretty overwhelming odds as Bolt got the Diligent, giving it more abilities. Thunderlane got the Diligent, giving it immediate movement. Luna's going to be able to get free movement from friends entering play. Luna's got the AT advantage here, at least, well, not permanent AT advantage, but more flexible AT advantage through Wonderbolt Stadium. Curtis does have the reducing cost of friends through Cloud Chaser. Spitfire is going to help. Get some additional tokens in play. That'll leave enough friends at that problem for DJ to ready.
You can only, and that's faster than any.
Lose nothing. Game 4.
That will.
Draw 1. Okay. This ready is.
Going to bring Curtis up to 2 points.
Okay.
Bigwig thinking. He's got the blue-orange problem that will allow him to flip an extra card during face-offs there. Curtis needs to draw into some Night Gliders. Or otherwise, find some yoinks or some food fights. But with one food fight flipped already, the options are dwindling.
Actually, no. Exhaust. I was thinking of something too anyway.
Because you spend exhaust and spend one.
I set exhaust and spit 2.
How'd you have 4 AT?
Oh, sorry. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking there.
That's good.
Let me rethink this then. I can still do that. Will exhaust, spin 2. Orchard Blossom.
Plays an Orchard Blossom, which will move Luna,
Drop him down to 6.
give him the power necessary to confront.
To there.
Thunderlane spends a power counter to move for free.
Power, yes, Swift.
He's got the 3, spends 1, Swift,
Go up there.
both biceps.
Scorpion.
Thank you.
Yeah, for those of you who missed that play and followed that, Bigwig is basically now looking at confronting both problems, starting with no characters at those problems on this turn for 3 AT by using Wonderbolt Stadium to reduce the cost of Orchard Blossom down to 2, which triggers and moves Luna. Now Curtis responds by playing Prince Rutherford, frightening the bulk biceps, who I'm not sure I would have chosen as the correct target there. I might have chosen to frighten Thunderlane instead.
Untap. 4. Draw.
We will have to see what he has in mind.
You have no AT, right?
That's correct. Well, pointless to full on 18 with Rainbow Dash out.
Curtis is in a position to confront, and did manage to stop his opponent from confronting. Well, from confronting both problems.
Exhaust, draw a card. Play a Rutherford there. Frighten Thunderlane.
Plays another Rutherford, frightens the Thunderlane this time.
Or,
Would explain why he might have wanted to do that.
Frighten Orchard Blossom.
Plays the third Thunderlane, frightens Orchard Blossom,
Play 2 for Night Glider.
and gets the Night Glider. You want to talk about basically the ideal hand for that particular situation. All his opponent's friends frightened, triggers a face-off.
I'm having flashbacks, Matt.
You win by a lot more than 5.
You
It's when I.
when you start, you're right. All right.
So
So
I'm not starting it.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
My teammate Tyler has just reminded me of an exact moment when he did the similar thing,
Need a 6.
and is laughing maniacally.
8.
3 Rutherfords.
Total.
It'll haunt your dreams.
All right, everyone goes home. Any problems? Average every pony. I have a home limit problem for sure.
Curtis does, in fact, have a home limit problem.
Let's see, I think I want to keep.
But I believe wins that face-off quite handily. So scores 3, 4,
Yeah, that seems fine. So let's keep those, and then let's get rid of all of these.
5, 6, 7.
And let's play this return.
Flips into It's a Secret for Every Pony, making those friends in his hand cheaper.
Ready?
Actually, 8. Looks like one of those problems had a bonus of 2.
And instead you frighten Harry. I go. Alright. Top card whenever.
Exhaust. 2 for Woman Warrior. Take Luna up.
Can I read Wounded Warrior?
Yep. Can't be frightened.
3 can't be fight. Okay.
We have an issue here unless he hit his color requirement.
2. Oh no, I could not have played her.
Yeah, you didn't have any orange.
2 unfrightened.
Okay.
Then play.
Yeah,
There we go. Now we got that order
You
fixed.
fix the color
Yeah,
requirement thing?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
One.
There. One phase.
Yes, you score.
Moves to sword phase, confronts, scores a point.
I just realized now.
7 to 8.
Oh no, I couldn't have done that.
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Is this my turn?
Yes.
Alright, so
Now this is a little risky,
untap.
because Curtis has quite a bit of AT advantage. Ready to Fight is pretty easy to confront. It's a 2 bonus. Bigwig does not have the Diligent effects there. However, he will be looking at 9 power, I'm sorry, 11 power during face-offs there. So what Curtis is really looking for at this point in time is probably either a food fight or a yoink, because Rainbow Dash cannot be frightened.
No AT, right?
That's correct. You dismissed Yoda?
Good.
Now, Bigwig with no AT remaining spent, so no
Draw a card.
AT. Draws an epic win. Not going to be super.
Play Column the Dream Cavalry.
Calling the Dream Cavalry will work, though.
One to move DJ. One to move Spitfire. One to move Nightblight. Tap 2 and pay 1 more.
Spins 2. Oh, this is going to be good. Another Spitfire. There it is. That's going to put 3 over there.
I'll go to my store phase. Settle on tap. And then double confront, which is 10.
Double confronts, goes to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I got 11.
3, 6, 9, 11, 12.
12.
Yeah, you win by more than 5.
So he does win by more than 5.
Plus the 2 bonus, which puts me at 14. And goes home.
And what started as something that was going to be very rough for Curtis to come back from really turned around. Those Spitfires do so much work in Vinyl Explosion. Really leveraging a part of Vinyl, the Vinyl main, the DJ main, that most people forget about, which is if she is at a problem with 3 or more friends at your score phase, you get to ready her. This means you can utilize her card draw. As long as you can move her up to problems, you can use Scootaloo's, or you can use Spitfire's multiple token generating ability to allow DJ to ready and confront something that would otherwise be impossible.
Alright, you're up.
2, 4, and 5. Draw.
Now Curtis slips into his own ready to fight.
lost. And one Night Glider takes her up. 3, 4, 5. So maybe 3 more.
So Bigwig needs another Night Glider.
And you're you
I'm at
need
14.
He needs another Night Glider 100%.
You know, I were to pull another Night Glider, that would not help me at all. Yeah, we're gonna lose anyway. I might as well get as many points as I can. 2 to move. And 4 phase.
Yeah, that is a double front.
1, 2, up to 9.
Now we'll have to see. I think he missed that there. I think he miscalculated. If he flips a Night Glider, he doesn't. Okay, so there was nothing he could have done to win the game.
2 bonus up to 11. And Night Glider bonus up to 13.
Yeah, there's no problems.
When I frighten someone, I will frighten your Night Glider.
Night Glider would not have been the one I would have frightened there. Probably would have gone after the Spitfire, just a bit more power. But considering these flips, he knows there's nothing he can do. He's down to 1 AT. But a valiant fight there. Really going back and forth. That Night Glider point value just...
And it's your turn.
Alright.
And that game.
Yeah, that's probably could do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another draw. You have no AT, you have 1 AT.
And 1 AT, but it doesn't mean anything.
Do you have any cards?
There's nothing I can do with my cards.
Jeez, I won.
Could be doing one hell of a bluff on bailout.
I remember you from last year.
I'm not sure I can beat that.
You didn't get to play any friends. It was very
I've never
sad.
seen
I
Pop
thought
play
you won one.
2 games.
I'm still using my quick block deck.
I like
Yeah,
it.
okay.
That's frightening. It was blocked.
This is amusing.
And Curtis just looking, making sure he can definitely secure that win.
What my deck actually trying to do.
I love other people's fire.
Um,
That's what you're trying to love this fire when ready to fight.
Pretty easy way would be move Spitfire, Exhaust Cloud Chaser, play Rainbow Dash on even ground. Calling the Dream Cavalry will also help. Move Spitfire. Yep. Spitfire up. Exhaust DJ, draw a card.
Play Thunderbolts round, reduce X1 by 2. X1 by 2 rather. Play Tank. Draw. Discard. Win. And I will move to my score face.
You win.
And there it is.
Close.
Yeah, that was close.
That is very, very close game. Really going back and forth. Could have gone either way. But congratulations to Curtis, closing both of those games out with Vinyl Explosion. Very powerful deck.
Where was my deck liner?
I'm sure we both made top 8.
I was second before this.
Yeah.
Deck liner was 4 down.
Night Glider is quite a card.
Did your game already end?
Yes,
Yeah.
I won.
Chris got it.
Night Glider is quite a card.
All right. And you wonder why people were excited about a Night Glider promo this year. You see the work that card can do. Swinging games back and forth, 5, 6, 7, 8-point turns. Really very, very impressive. Cool decks. First time I've seen blue and orange.
And I was second when this started.
Chat, those of you that are still hanging around, I'm curious, what were your favorite decks that you saw at day 1 of the tournament here so far? Saw a couple Twilight decks, saw Zippo a few times, Vinyl Explosion a few times. Same players, of course. Saw the Bedtime deck.
Well, I also had a food fight open also. So even if you would have had something,
Saw
I probably could have.
Octavia, Princess Twilight Frightened,
Okay. Games are over.
One Punch Mirror,